As women age, they used to be, wanting to be more thin and not worry as much about weight training. But now women want to be muscular and strong, signaling a power shift and discipline. I think this is a great change, John, because they say weightlifting too. I'm glad this is in fashion because weightlifting is so important for bone density as we age, and it really helps with reducing chronic diseases. All part of, I think Maha has a lot to do with this too.
Yeah, and perhaps actually making the bank account even bulkier.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Spending less on the bags. But the thing is, being toned builds self-confidence as well. The confidence that goes well beyond just carrying an expensive bag.
Right. And I think that we're prioritizing women's health versus maybe unhealthy habits that we do see in Hollywood. I think this is a welcome change, again, for women to feel empowered, feel strong, and also, yes, to beat all of the diseases that we see and on a daily basis. I mean, there's just so much, even now in the fall season, see people dealing with colds, people dealing with the flu and COVID, and we don't want to get vaccines. So it's all sorts of different benefits to weightlifting. So get at it, ladies. Let's do it.
This is a very good story as we kick off, Breast Cancer Month.
Great point.
And things of that nature, talking about a lot of different cancers and things that actually impact women's health. Working out, eating right as a woman, as well as how women actually feed their families and do other things in terms of the leadership in the home. A lot can be learned from women's taking the lead on weightlifting, other exercise, mental health. Hey, I'll be the first one to say, you know what? I don't have any problem with a woman looking jacked up.
I need to weight lift up.
You can work on it.
I'll work on it for you guys. All right.
More First Edition, folks, after the break. We have some exciting news updates.
It used to be common. Our newscasters had common sense. They gave it to you straight, just the facts, and real news. John Bachman is like them. He tells it like it is. Catch him every weekday on Newsmax 2.
Hi, folks. We're back. If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone. Call now.
Have you been in a motor vehicle accident that wasn't your fault? Then you may need legal representation. And if you call the number on your screen now, you can be connected to an attorney who can tell you just how much your case could be worth for free. And for a limited time, if you call now, you can get this elegant, luxurious gold watch with the money from your own case. To be clear, not for me. This is my watch. I own it, and I like it a lot. You can't have it. But if you call and win your case and the money is right, you can buy one of these watches for yourself, or any of these watches, or a different watch I've never even seen before, or no watch. The money is yours to do whatever it is you want. Just call the number on your screen now to find out how much your case could be worth for free.
To get a windfall, you first need to call. Call your favorite attorney now.
Call 800-487-0943.
And you can't have my tie either.
Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs, increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance, plus stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better. It makes me feel stronger too.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the Deluxe Bundle. Get the faster motor or 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.
Folks, you're watching First Edition only on Newsmax 2. We appreciate your viewership, but we also want you to stay with Newsmax and Newsmax 2. Why? Because today, Speaker Mike Johnson will be actually addressing the shutdown and the crazy radical left, as President Trump normally says, pushing back on their agenda. Why? Because he has, as well as President Trump, the best interest of the American people at heart. So he's going to address it in Newsmax, and Newsmax 2 will cover it.
Yeah, exactly. And to your point, John, there's a lot of finger pointing at the Republicans because they're the ones in charge. But also, as you mentioned, in order to combat this, fight fire with fire, just talk about the Biden economy and how they're reckless spending, how this is a continuation. So the Democrats are really only doing this because they don't like Donald Trump, and it's completely political.
Yeah, plain politics.
Yeah.
And there's another reason to stay with us. Why? Because of the deadly attack in Manchester, England, with regard to the attack on the synagogue on the holiest day on the Jewish calendar.
In 6 days, something big is happening at the Dove. Mark your calendar, October 8th, live 6 to 9 a.m.
Welcome to Mornings on the Dove, where you have the men in black dealing with the supreme decisions of the day.
That's right. Bring the next case on.
Yeah. Acquitted.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Thursday, better known as Friday Eve.
Yeah.
That's Jerry. That's all that counts.
Yeah, good morning.
When he's here, we all just kind of get ready to react.
We'll get ready.
Yeah, get ready. There you go. Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Thursday. Nice weather. You know, it continues, which we're happy about. A lot going on in the news. Give it 10 minutes and it changes. But the news is pretty interesting these days. And let's see here. Just a nice day to be above grass. Thank the Lord, because this is the day that He has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Amen. Yes, indeed.
Okay,
all
so
right.
That's good. What's up, man?
Well, first of all, it's National Custodial Workers Recognition Day, celebrating the hard-working personnel that keep our schools, hospitals, office buildings, museums, churches, and other buildings clean and well-maintained.
Yes.
Yeah, been there, done that, got the T-shirt, the whole deal, and
Never really goes away, does it?
What's that?
Never really goes away.
Absolutely not. No, it's a constant thing, and our hats off to you. Also, National Name Your Car Day. Have you ever named a car? Huh?
No. No, I don't think I have.
Okay, we've named one car. One car, and Pam's saying it right now. It's Wolfie. Wolfie. We had a Volkswagen, a VW Beetle. Years and years ago, we named Wolfie after Wolfie. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
Okay.
It was after Wolfie. And that's what Constance used to call him. Constance was his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, she called him Wolfie.
Well, you call cars names when they don't run. It's amazing what you call them.
What names? The names you're thinking of will do.
There's some interesting names that come out when they break down.
That's good. All right, let's have something to eat. It's National Fried Scallops Day.
Ooh.
And the word scallop refers to the common name applied to many species of marine bivalve mollusks.
Yeah.
Yes. Every ocean in the world provides habitat for those mollusks as well.
Yeah.
And the name scallop applies to the meat of the scallops when it's used as seafood. The tender meat is harvested in a variety of sizes. The larger medallions grilled deliciously over an open flame. Smaller scallops pair nicely with soups or pasta. However, this tender and prized meat requires very little season and often takes center stage of any meal.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting about them?
No.
They really have no taste to them until you season them.
Until you season them, yeah.
Otherwise they're kind of bland.
Oh, yeah.
So if you throw a little garlic on there, some salt and butter and all.
Okay. I'm in.
There we go.
Let's have it. And then the only sugar, well, it doesn't really qualify as dessert, but it's National Smarties Day. You know those little candy wafer things? They're in the little tube. They roll them up. You get them a lot at Halloween. Smarties. They've been around since 1949, and they're small pastel-colored candy tablets. They're sweet and a little bit sour, and they have
RFK Jr. found those yet?
Well, you know what? It's interesting because Smarties are going to be around for a while. They don't have the crazy food dyes in them.
Oh.
They're not very bright.
Okay.
So, but white, here, I thought all Smarties were the same flavor, but they're not. White is orange cream, yellow is pineapple, pink is cherry. Check this out. Green is strawberry.
Oh.
Purple is grape, and orange is...
Orange.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
All right. Well, we have one fun fact today. Today is National Produce Misting Day.
Oh.
It recognizes the innovation of keeping fruits and vegetables fresh. Misted fingertips rest assured that produce remains crisp, plump, hydrated, and nutrient-dense. Before automatic misting systems, grocers threw away a lot of dated products. No one likes to waste food, especially those in the business. And as a solution, grocers used to soak burlap potato sacks in water, and at night, they laid them over their stock, and the wet sacks helped prevent the fruits and vegetables from drying out. But in 1979, along came an invention or two that changed how we get our fresh food. Automatic produce misting systems revolutionized the grocery world. While these systems extended the shelf life of fruits and vegetables, it also increased the variety of foods available because they could keep it longer on the shelves. So happy National Produce Misting Day to you.
You remember when they had the little sprayers?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then they went to these misties. They're kind of like fog misties, you know?
Yeah, they are. Yes.
And they react to the temperature in the room, so it actually comes out fog, but ends up being water.
And, you know, it usually turns on when I reach in to grab something.
Yeah. There you go.
You get a little bit on you, but it's not bad.
Not bad.
So enjoy it.
Well, here's a guy who his mystifier has been on all his life.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, showers likely with the possibility of afternoon thunderstorms and daytime highs in the mid to upper 60s for Vancouver, Portland, and McMinnville, and near 70 in Wilsonville. Moving down the Willamette Valley with a chance of showers and thunderstorms from Salem through Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with daytime highs near 69 and lows in the upper 40s to low 50s. In central Oregon, mostly cloudy with a slight chance of showers in mid-60s in Prineville, a chance of showers in near 61 in Bend and 59 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, a slight chance of showers in near 70. A chance of showers along the coast, then clearing to partly sunny with daytime highs near 69 in Coos Bay, 63 in Port Orford, upper 50s in Brookings, and near 61 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, cloudy, gradually becoming sunny with a slight chance of showers near 70 in Grants Pass and Medford and mid-60s in Ashland. Mostly cloudy with a high near 58 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, mostly cloudy with a high near 64 in Wairika. A slight chance of showers, then partly sunny in 71 in Redding. A slight chance of showers, then mostly cloudy and near 70 in Chico and 74 in Sacramento. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then partly sunny with highs in the low 70s for Santa Rosa and Napa. Partly sunny in San Francisco with a high near 70, and a slight chance of rain and patchy fog in San Jose, then partly sunny in 72. A look at your Thursday weather from Grange Co-op.
And there you go. Can't see anything.
What up?
Yeah, there's a little something out there, a little low cloud out there. So anyway, sun's not up. So we'll come back to that a little bit later on.
Okay. Well, I got a question for you. Yep. Are you bearing fruit? Well, here with some great encouragement is Dr. David Jeremiah.
Second, the conduct of your life is also a fruit. Romans 6:22 says, "But now having been set free from sin and having become slaves of God, you have your fruit to holiness." You don't have to be perfect, but as you grow in the perfection of Christ, He uses you better when you're walking in character and in the right conduct. We bear fruit through our character, which is who we are. We bear fruit through our conduct, which is what we do. And the Bible speaks of our conversation. Did you know that how you speak is fruitfulness? Therefore, Hebrews 13:15, by Him let us continually offer the sacrifice of praise. That is, the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to His name. The Bible says that when we sing or praise or glorify God, it's the fruit of worship.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. So are you fruitful? Are you producing fruit? Good question. Good question. All right, 8 minutes past the hour. The big story, let's take a look at it this morning. It is the government continues to be shut down, partially shut down for day number 2. They did call for a vote yesterday in the Senate to see if they could get it through, and the answer was no. The Democrats voted it down again. It appears, however, this thing seems to be falling apart for the Democrats because there's a little bit of a twist to this whole thing. Is when the government shuts down, that gives more power to the president.
You're right.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
And the question is, what is that power and how far can it go? Speaker Mike Johnson kind of talks about this.
There are hundreds of thousands of federal workers who are getting their furlough notices. Nearly half of our civilian workforce is being sent home. These are hardworking Americans who work for our federal government. Our troops and our Border Patrol agents will have to go to work, but they'll be working without pay. Food assistance, veterans benefits, and vital support for women and children are all coming to a halt. Now, thankfully, President Trump is trying to mitigate the damage as much as possible. His administration is working to limit the harm to the American people. But the longer this goes on, the more pain will be inflicted because it is inevitable when the government shuts down. The sad thing about it is that every single bit of this was entirely avoidable. Democrats could have worked with us in a bipartisan manner to avert this unnecessary and very harmful shutdown. But instead, they did something that is rather shocking to us. They prioritized taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal aliens over keeping the government open for American citizens. They themselves positioned that as a binary choice, and it's patently absurd. Listen to what the Democrats are demanding. They demanded, in exchange for our simple, clean, 24-page bipartisan continuing resolution, the same one that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats voted for just a few months back in March. In exchange for that, they rejected it, and they demanded something else. They wanted us to add over $1.5 trillion in new federal spending, paid for, of course, by hardworking American taxpayers, simply for funding the government at current Biden level spending levels. We are not going to do that. We can't do that. We won't do it.
Well, you unravel this. Basically, is they want all this money. Of course, they're using it for various things, but the main thing is to give health benefits to illegals.
Right. Yet they're still portraying it as shoving grandma and grandpa off the cliff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and people are going to die and all that
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely.
So I don't know if this is going to go. Now, just so that people know, they need 8 Democrats to pass this through the Senate.
Okay.
3, I think, have already said that they would vote for it. So they got a ways to go. Senator Rand Paul, Republican from Kentucky, votes against it. As you know, he's one of these guys that just will not go for a CR no matter what.
Right.
So, and I understand that, but at the same time, this thing could get down the road a little bit faster to where they could work on what he really wants, and that's a balanced budget. But anyway, so they need 8. They have 3. They got 5 more to go. We'll see where this is going to go. Okay. In the meantime, the Office of Management and Budget Director Russell Voigt said yesterday that the Trump administration will start firing federal employees in the next 1 to 2 days, that the president now will have another layer of potential power in this emergency condition where these layoffs could become permanent. And in doing so, he would be reshaping the federal government. So this is kind of a mixed bag. So you lay a lot of people off, then you turn that into a permanent termination. That's going to make the unemployment numbers go up. I mean, this whole thing is just crazy.
Yeah.
And so I don't know where it's going to end up, but we are in such a state of flux in America right now. Jerry and I were chatting a little earlier. If you've ever read the book, The Rules for Radicals, it was written back in the 70s. By a gentleman by the name of Sal Alinsky. And I would recommend, it's a hard read, but it's a very radical left-wing demonstrate until you bottom line of this book is create all chaos so everybody turns on themselves and the rule of law falls through the cracks.
Right. In fact, he has a doctrine, and it's called 8 Steps to Toppling a Nation. See if anything's of these ring true. Okay. Number 1 is healthcare. Control healthcare, you control the people. Poverty. Increase the poverty level as high as possible. Poor people are easier to control. Debt. Increase the debt to an unsustainable level. That way you're able to increase taxes, and it produces more poverty. Gun control. Remove the ability to defend themselves from the government. That way you're able to create a police state. Welfare. take control of every aspect of their lives: food, housing, and income, education. Here we go. Take control of what people read and listen to. Take control of what children learn in school. Number 7, religion. Remove the belief in God from the government and schools. And then finally, class warfare. Divide the people into the wealthy and the poor. This will cause more discontent, and it will be easier to take the wealthy with the support of the poor, and you can tax the wealthy as a result.
Okay, so
is any of that coming true?
It's all. You know what
It's
it
all.
is? We're not trying to prevent it. It's already happened.
You're right.
So we're trying to unwind it.
Yes.
And so I think people need to understand that all the chaos that's going on right now, it's easy to get upset about it, and you should, obviously. Emotions, by the way, if we're created in the image of God, God has emotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
He loves and hates. He's happy and gets angry. So it's okay for you to do the same. Okay? Just don't let the sun go down on your wrath and don't sin. But the point being is, you have to get a hold of your faith, because one of the 8 is to eliminate or control or to muffle, if I can put it that way, or silence religion.
Absolutely.
And so we're in this state where it's unbelievable anxiety in our culture. And if you can understand this, that's actually the left's plan, is to create such chaos that it all falls apart. And then the only thing left is the government to come in. And don't forget this, it's true. It's true. So, relax here. You're being blamed for what they're doing.
Right. Oh,
and when you understand that, you actually can move forward.
Yeah.
And you just blow it off. I would say, don't even respond to some of this nonsense. It's so crazy. Just move forward for what you do know to be true. And part of that is standing up for your faith. So,
amen.
All right, let's take anything to eat today?
Scallops.
Oh, scallop.
Yeah. And Smarties.
Well,
we'll pass on the Smarties. We'll take this. Oh, the Smarties are pretty good. I've had a lot of those in my life.
You ever had Smarties on your scallops?
Something new.
I don't know. You got to have a little garlic melted butter over your scallops.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
On some pasta.
Okay, I'm ready.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Range Co-op, where big ideas grow.
15 years in the making, the Dove is spreading its wings and soaring higher. Exciting things are coming. Watch October 8th. The Dove TV, encouraging and informative.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory. Make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
From top home sellers in the Valley with John L. Scott
to making RV consignment effortless.
American RV, where Team Toner gets your RV sold fast.
All right, good morning to you. Happy Thursday, 18 minutes past the hour. Well, it's quite controversial up in our own big city, Portland.
Yeah.
And it has to do with the ICE buildings and other federal buildings. The president ordered 200 troops to go in, but apparently there was this back and forth exchange before all this happened. But there was interesting thing. Fox News Digital David Marcus went there and caught up with the counter protesters on the street, and they said that they're sick of Antifa, drug addiction, and woke policies that have taken over their city. These are the people in and around. All right, so then as he moves through the crowd, for more than 100 nights in a row, Antifa thugs have taken over the streets in front of the U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement building there in Portland, okay? And so now the troops are going to be sent in. And by the way, as he was walking through the streets, he realized something. He's basically saying, his run-in shows that the Portland cops are the ones who are handcuffed. In other words, the cops are doing nothing.
Right.
All right, so this was preceded with several phone call exchanges between the governor and the president. And basically said, either you call in 200 members under your own authority in the next 12 hours, or we will. And that's kind of where it is. The National Guard is a federal agency within the Pentagon that coordinates federal responses to guard across the United States and various territories. So shortly after 7 o'clock, the National Guard formally responded to the 12-hour deadline, and 166 volunteered to be there from various divisions of the National Guard up and down Interstate 5. Now, folks, you need to understand something here. I realize this is so provoking in so many ways, but this has been going on for quite some time, and the governor said, we don't need this, we have it under control. No, they don't.
No.
And the residents in and around this area want this cleaned up, and this is what's going on. I don't know what the result's going to be with the National Guard going in. We'll have to see how this is going to play out.
See if they can clean it up. But I keep seeing posts on Facebook from folks on the left who go down to downtown Portland in the middle of the afternoon or in the morning, when the activity's not going on, and they videotape and they say, see how peaceful it is? Why do we need troops? It's like going into Yankee Stadium in January and saying, see, they don't play baseball here.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, that's a good analogy.
Golly.
Yeah, I just, look, this is really something, and again, read Rules for Radicals. It explains it.
Absolutely. Right.
It explains it so well.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah, and there you go. So this is yet to play out. Meantime, the governor and the first lady are heading to a $200,000 trip, supposedly a trade trip to Japan.
Oh, wow.
After they. Wow. By the way, one other little thing I'll let you know, folks, and that is, as you know, the tax increase bill went through. In the next couple of days, the referendum petition drive will be announced, and they need 77,000 signatures. They're asking for 125,000.
Okay.
We should be able to get 150,000 in nothing flat.
Yeah.
We have 90 days to sign that. If we get the 150,000, of which 77 have to be accurate, 77,000 have to be accurate, then this whole tax bill gets put on hold and gets put on the ballot as a referendum for the citizens to vote on. And this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back in Oregon.
Oh.
Because if the citizens vote no on this, it is the biggest slap that the single majority rule has had in a long time by the citizens, and that opens the door for Christine Drazen or somebody else to run for governor and start things turn around.
Yep.
So don't give up. God's economy is different. I don't know. When is it coming out?
When's she gonna know? Because we can't start collecting signatures until she signs the bill.
Yeah.
So when's she going to sign the bill? Because the word is she's going to delay as long as possible, shortening the window on getting signatures.
I think that is one of the ambiguities. I think we have 90 days no matter what.
Okay.
I can't verify that, but if I read it correctly, once it happens, you have 90 days to do this. Now, if she's going to play that game and it can't happen, then so be it. But we've done this before. I think we had 45 or 50 days one time to do something about the marriage bill. This was several years ago. An overwhelming response. People got out.
Okay.
All right. But let me say this, folks. another little story. You have till October 14th to register to vote in the state if you're going to do some voting in November.
Okay.
Because there's going to be a ballot that comes out with some minor things. I'd say minor things. Going to have things on the ballot in November. And if you're not registered to vote, get registered to vote. Don't assume that you are if you don't know that you are.
Yeah.
And make sure you are registered to vote. And when you sign those petitions, make sure that petition corresponds with your registration.
Right. Right.
And then we can stop this thing. We really can. Look, it's very possible.
Yeah, you're right.
It's very possible. Yep. All right, let's take a look at the satellite image. And I don't know if this is Starlink flying around out there showing us what's going on. But we have some more weather over the top of us this morning, a little bit.
A little bit.
And maybe a break and then a little more. But then as we head into the weekend, it kind of clears up. But we are in that fall season where it's kind of nice during the day and cool at night.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
All right. Well, United Refining Company Chairman and CEO John Catsimatidis responded to this clip of New York mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani on Mornings with Maria. Let's listen in.
We are standing here on Billionaires Row, or as I call it, Avenue Andrew. While I'm fighting for Eric Adams' voters, Andrew Cuomo is fighting for Eric Adams' donors. New York City deserves better than yet another mayor bought by billionaires. He is being funded by Trump supporting billionaires, by the very people that have funded Donald Trump's return to the White House. I think Donald Trump is going through the stages of grief. I think the first stage was denial, that we could ever be on the precipice of winning this race. I think the stage that he has now reached is somewhat of acceptance, yet he continues to ask himself what he could do to stop our campaign.
I think we have 32, 33 days left to the election. And a lot of New Yorkers, especially the real estate industry, is panicking because they're afraid that if they have $1 billion worth of real estate, tomorrow morning, 32 days from now, it might be worth half the price. It's a Democratic town. I think President Trump has said that it's more likely that Cuomo beats Zoran than anybody else. If Cuomo has the best chance of winning, then I would support him. Curtis is a member of our family, Curtis Sliwa, and if he got elected, it's not the end of the world. He knows New York City better than anybody else. But the fact is, it's a Democratic town, and what Cuomo has to say, I'm the real Democrat, Zoran is a socialist.
Yeah.
And if that message goes out to all Democratic people that he's not a real Democrat, he's a socialist. If you saw some of the videos of him addressing the Socialist Party, I mean, it sounds worse than Castro. And I think the American people have to come to a reality. And the last mayoral election, 23% of the people voted. That's not acceptable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Makes some good points.
Yes, indeed.
He really does. Run as a Democrat, not as a socialist. I mean, that could be the line, but he makes a good point, and that is where the billionaires are going to put their money, and I say that respectfully, but their investments in that city could just, the values could drop significantly.
Yeah.
I mean, Fifth Avenue may become a ghost town.
Oh, what a thought.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about that. By the way, there is one more story I want to cover this morning, and it's breaking as we talk, but there was a shooting and actually a stabbing, I should say, and a vehicle running into a synagogue in Manchester, England, in the last several hours. It's the beginning of Yom Kippur, and the police has shot the suspect, but this person went in and stabbed people. One is dead and 4 are injured. Now, England's got a problem, and they better wake up real fast what they are flirting with here.
Yeah.
But they've been flirting with allowing Sharia law to coexist with parliamentary law. And this is a stick of dynamite that's been lit. And the only thing I can say is that this just goes to show you, we had Mormon church attacked, now we got a synagogue attacked.
Right.
We had Charlie Kirk killed.
Yeah.
There is a understanding here we need to understand, then, that is Christian organizations, you better be smart and be vigilant. You don't know where it's going to come from and from whom.
That's true.
So anyway, so much for that this morning as we go back to Scallops for breakfast?
Yep. Yeah. With butter sauce and garlic, yeah.
For breakfast?
Yeah. And share it so nobody knows that you're garlicky.
Would you put it on your toast?
Okay, what a thought.
Would it slip off?
No, it'd be
We'll
good.
be right back.
There's nothing I can do on my own to find forgiveness.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
At Kelly's Automotive Service,
being good stewards of what God has entrusted to us
is at the core of our business.
We believe what we do matters.
Every interaction, every transaction is another opportunity
to bring Christ's values into the marketplace.
If you're a technician who wants to be part of something bigger,
Or just looking for a new shop to bring your vehicle,
we would love to meet you.
We're Kelly's Automotive Service,
where we service your vehicle,
but take care of you.
Something big, something exciting, something dynamic is happening at the Dove TV. It's been months in the making, and you've made it all possible by your faithful giving. Change is in the air, a difference you'll see. Mornings will never be the same. What is it? Find out October 8th on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative. Answers with Bayless Conley.
Now it's no longer I who live, but it is Christ who lives in me.
Find answers to life's biggest questions that can only be found in the Bible.
How much God loves people that he would give so much to redeem them.
Answers to strengthen your faith to know God better for a more deep, more powerful walk.
We were the sheep that went astray, but he was the lamb that was slaughtered.
Get Answers with Bayless Conley, Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Dove TV.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
Hi, good morning to you. Half past the hour on a beautiful Thursday morning. Can you guys throw up that picture real quick you were showing us there a minute? Yeah, that's got that picture on the outside. You have it there. There. Look at that. That's our valley. That's looking basically due west, and got some clouds. The city lights, some leftover rain clouds, and so really it's just clean and fresh and smells good. And
you can see we're a valley.
Yeah. Just really nice. All right, thank you, Scott. All right, good morning to you. As you know, there's another clock ticking, and that is on the 20-point deal for the Middle East, a peace agreement. And Hamas has, I think, as the deadline closes in, I think they got, I forget when it is, maybe tomorrow, tonight, I don't know. It's coming up. They have to make up their mind that they're going to agree to do this, or the only solution is that they kind of get wiped out. Not kind of, but will. So let's check in with CBN Newswatch and get caught up.
This is CBN Newswatch.
It is Thursday, the 2nd of October, going to begin this half hour with the high-stakes diplomacy in the Middle East aimed at bringing the war in Gaza to an end. Hamas is hinting at a possible ceasefire, but the situation still is not clear, as Israel is keeping up its fight against Hamas. And here in the United States, evangelical Christians are rallying behind Israel's claims on the biblical lands of Judea and Samaria in the West Bank. CBN's George Thomas has our report.
As Israeli forces keep tightening their grip on Hamas in Gaza, there's word from Arab mediators that the terror group may be warming to a U.S.-backed ceasefire deal, but they're asking for more time to go over the terms.
We look forward to a political solution of importance. Whether it's a two-state solution or a similar proposal, it should be based on the simplest things we desire most: freedom, dignity, justice, and equality.
Hamas is pushing back on demands to disarm and turn over all their weapons. The plan also calls for the release of 48 hostages within 72 hours. Hamas says they don't even know where all of them are. They're also skeptical the plan offers Palestinians a path to statehood. Meanwhile, tens of thousands are still fleeing Gaza City. Israel's defense minister says those who stay will be seen as supporting terror.
I came out at 8 a.m. It's now 2 p.m. I've been walking for over 8 continuous hours.
Today, the Israeli Navy also intercepted an aid flotilla headed for Gaza, detaining activists who tried to break the blockade. And in a surprise move, President Trump has signed an executive order pledging to defend Qatar, calling it a key U.S. ally in the region. This comes after Israel launched an attack on Hamas leaders in Qatar, which Trump criticized. At the same time, as Jews mark Yom Kippur, around 200 American evangelical leaders are calling on Trump to back Israel's claim to Judea and Samaria, also known as the West Bank. The Family Research Council recently sent a letter to the president voicing support.
This is the heartland of Israel. 80% of what we read about in our Bibles took place there in Judea and Samaria. And it's been the topic of the quote-unquote two-state solution going back 70 years. We support the president. He's done so much for Israel, but warned that there's danger when we move in opposite direction of what the Word of God says as it pertains to the nation of Israel.
And this show of support comes as a new New York Times Siena University poll finds American support for Israel has slipped ever since that deadly Hamas attack nearly 2 years ago. George Thomas, CBN News.
And as George Thomas just reported, Israel is observing the Yom Kippur holiday, the Day of Atonement, and the deadline is approaching for Hamas to accept the proposed ceasefire deal for Gaza. President Donald Trump has given the terrorist organization until this weekend to accept or reject the offer. In this week's episode of The Global Lane, Jonathan Tobin, editor-in-chief of the Jewish News Syndicate, emphasizes this deal is distinct from previous offers made to Hamas.
The difference in this plan is not so much, the assumptions that, underlie some of the details, but the fact that President Trump has promised that if Hamas doesn't accept peace, if it doesn't release the hostages, disarm, leave Gaza, turn it over to an international authority, that he will give a green light to Israel to finish Hamas off. That's the difference. In the past, we've had lots of peace plans with lots of theoretical ideas about peace that all sounded good. Indeed, the assumptions behind this current plan all sound good. It just takes a tremendous leap of faith to believe that the Palestinians have had or are willing to change their political culture and embrace peace. But the difference now is that the United States is, adding the or else, which is why it's Trump is being criticized by many on the left. They don't like it, the fact that Hamas isn't being given leeway. They don't like the fact that Hamas is being told, take it or else. But that is the difference here. A lot of the other details in it, in some ways seems like a repeat of past efforts to make peace. The assumption that pouring more aid into Gaza and trusting that there is some kind of, I would say, mythical group of Palestinian technocrats who are apolitical and have no interest in destroying Israel. All of those assumptions, they're basically fairy tales, which would be nice if it all came true. But the difference, again, is this time the United States means business, or at least it says it means business, and that is to the good.
Yeah. So we're coming up on that hour. All right, good morning to you. Nice weather out there, and it'll get actually a little better as we move towards the weekend. And here's, Mr. What is it? Mr. Scallop himself.
Yes.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, showers likely with the possibility of afternoon thunderstorms and daytime highs in the mid to upper 60s for Vancouver, Portland, and McMinnville, and near 70 in Wilsonville. Moving down the Willamette Valley with a chance of showers and thunderstorms from Salem through Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with daytime highs near 69 and lows in the upper 40s to low 50s. In central Oregon, mostly cloudy with a slight chance of showers in mid-60s in Prineville, a chance of showers in near 61 in Bend and 59 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, a slight chance of showers in near 70. A chance of showers along the coast, then clearing to partly sunny with daytime highs near 69 in Coos Bay, 63 in Port Orford, upper 50s in Brookings, and near 61 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, cloudy, gradually becoming sunny with a slight chance of showers near 70 in Grants Pass and Medford and mid-60s in Ashland. Mostly cloudy with a high near 58 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, mostly cloudy with a high near 64 in Wairika. A slight chance of showers, then partly sunny and 71 in Redding. A slight chance of showers, then mostly cloudy and near 70 in Chico and 74 in Sacramento. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then partly sunny with highs in the low 70s for Santa Rosa and Napa. Partly sunny in San Francisco with a high near 70, and a slight chance of rain and patchy fog in San Jose, then partly sunny and 72. A look at your Thursday weather from Grange Co-op.
And there you go. More and more, well, actually developing a little cloud now, a little marine air coming in. Yeah, that happens when we have that temperature inversion. So anyway, nice day on tap. What's up?
All right. Well, it was a TV show that started with a trademark image, a memorable theme song, a two-word greeting, and it premiered on this day in history.
Good evening.
October 2nd, 1955, a night of suspense on American television. That's when Alfred Hitchcock Presents made its debut on CBS. The show was hosted by the master of suspense himself, stepping out from behind the movie screen and into living rooms across the country. At the time, some in the film industry scoffed. They said Hitchcock was lowering himself by working in the lesser medium of television. But Hitchcock had already proven himself a pioneer. Back in 1929, he directed Blackmail, England's very first talking picture. And over the years, he delivered classics like Rebecca, Notorious, and Strangers on a Train. By turning to television, Hitchcock was once again ahead of the curve. His series blended dark humor, sharp storytelling, and chilling suspense, setting a new standard for television drama. And in doing so, he made millions of viewers part of his audience right at home on their sofas. Alfred Hitchcock Presents didn't just premiere on this day in 1955, it helped prove that television could be just as powerful a stage as the silver screen.
He was kind of an odd duck. There's a movie about him that Pam and I just watched recently, and it was like...
Was he weird?
He was very strange.
Was he a weird guy?
He was very strange, yes.
Did he eat scallops raw?
He may have. I don't know.
Well, I remember him going out there, good evening.
Good evening. And, you know, and he dealt with very dark subject matter, but he didn't do it in a gory way, even in the thriller Psycho. You know, it's got one of the most memorable, terrible scenes.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in it. You don't see any of the graphic violence that you see on screen.
The other one was the Birds.
The Birds. That one was a little bit much.
That one had you. I mean, it was black and white, and you hung on your seat.
Right, and not only that,
it was one of those things you pull the covers up where and you sneak and look at it a little bit.
Yeah,
you pull back.
and I got to tell you, that leaves a lasting impression. Even to this day, when I see a massive flock of birds somewhere, I think
the birds. That was filmed at Bodego Bay.
Oh yeah.
At the cafe there years ago. I guess that's all gone now.
Oh.
But I remember going there as a kid, but that's where they filmed a big part of that. Okay. Well, so much for that. All right. Good morning to you. About 18 minutes before the hour, Charlie Kirk. We miss him. I'm still, it's there's been so much Charlie Kirk videos pop up lately.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. But here he gives 5 reasons why you should own and read and in your hand an actual Bible.
I'm going to give you 5 reasons. I didn't come here to talk about this, by the way. But 5 reasons why we got to get physical Bibles back in the church. Real reasons, okay? Number 1, Satan can't distract you at that moment through what you are reading to get you away from reading the Word of the God. So if you're reading from your iPhone, maybe you have more of the fruit of the Spirit of self-control than me. But you might be getting that little Instagram direct message. You might be getting a text message. What a time for the evil one to take you outside of the Word of God, right? By definition, this right here is how it is. It's unchanging. It is non-disruptible. It is permanent. Okay, so no distractions. Number 2, you develop a unique relationship with the weight and the feel and the touch of that thing. There is nothing else in your life that will have that sort of mass and that touch. Those of you that have really spent time with your Bibles, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You know that when you pick it up, you could just close your eyes like, I know what this is, right? Now with your phone, it's not the case, because it's more than one thing, right? It's a communication device, it's a camera, it's a GPS system, so it's more than one thing. Again, I'm all for watching sermons, I'm all for listening to podcasts on those. They can be super wonderful. And maybe you need to just get a quick, dose of scripture. I'm talking about your go-to. I'm talking about every time when you get your chair time, and everyone should have at least 20 minutes a day of chair time and reading the Word of the Lord. Are you flipping open your iPhone where it's also your texting, your Netflix watching, or is it something that has a special weight to it and then almost becomes a weapon, which is the Word of the Lord is a sword against the evil one that you could put on it. Third thing, okay. It's dedicated to just that, as I mentioned, which is it's totally and completely unique. It is something that it does not there. So you have a relationship with the weight and the touch, and there is nothing else you will do with this Bible except connect to the Lord. The fourth thing, which I love, is that it grows as you grow. You ever see those Bibles with those highlights and those notes, the tears that you cry over those pages? That's beautiful. All of a sudden, you see how much you've been transformed by the Word, with the Word. You don't get that with an iPhone. This has worked for a long time, everybody, okay? And then finally, by the way, total side note, again, I get these emails from people, Charlie, I can't believe you went after the digital Bible. It's like, okay, but fine. The fifth, I just want you to be able to worship the Lord uninterrupted and find His truth. This is it. If this is how they were able to read the truth in 70 AD, it should be satisfactory for us in 2021. There's something with picking up a manuscript and a text that is, I don't have to over-explain it. If that's how they did it back in Jesus' time, we should be able to do it today. And I don't know about you. I look forward and I relish the opportunity to be able to touch something that doesn't change. Because if everything changes, nothing lasts. Remember that. If everything changes, nothing lasts.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. By the way, Deuteronomy says, teach the laws of the Lord to your children.
Mm-hmm.
So as difficult as the Bible is to read, it was meant for even children to understand it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So these things have really distracted us and got us off track, Yeah. Do you have a physical Bible? And do you take it to church? Let me just give you a little thought here. Leave your phone in your car and take your Bible inside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, we missed Charlie already. All right.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's hard to take. All right. We'll be right back.
The only thing that matters is your love, your love. That's all I have to...
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Lizer with Lizer Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
Welcome back at 12 minutes before the hour. I think one of the toughest jobs in America today is being a pastor. It's almost as tough as being a Christian television talk show host.
Yeah.
No matter what you say or do, you're going to get somebody's going to either correct it or give you an extra opinion, or you should have said it this way, that way. Yep. And it's really become a tough job. In fact, the statistics coming out now on the loneliness of pastors, the suicide rate of pastors, and pastors literally leaving the ministry is alarming. I will say that. Well, I had Dr. Alex McFarlane. He's quite a guy. And he's been concerned about the American pastor as well. And here's what he had to say.
You know, Perry, you and I have been privileged to know some of the greats. My former boss, James Dobson, just went to be with the Lord just days ago. Vodi Bakum, who I interviewed also. John MacArthur, who I had the privilege of interviewing several years ago. There are some copious vacancies on the evangelical landscape now. But I want to say a word for all those ministers that they never make headlines. They're not famous or anything. But 1 Corinthians 15:58 says, our labor in the Lord is not in vain. And thank God for the faithful pastor, minister, assistant pastor, youth volunteer, minister of education, the administrators in the church office that keep the trains running on time. And look, God knows what you're doing, and God is pleased with your sacrifice of your life. And, you know, in America, look, Perry, you and I have been in media, and there are kind of celebrity Christians, and that's fine. You know, we've lived in the age of Billy Graham and all the greats, and praise God for them. But I really think at the Bema seat, when the rewards are handed out, there's going to be some major crowns for that faithful pastor serving in anonymity, never any accolades on this side of eternity, and yet it matters. I just want to say to everybody out there, more hangs on your obedience than you could possibly imagine. And so let's just, in the field where God has assigned us, let's be faithful, because it's for His glory. It's for the spread of the gospel. The rewards are going to be in heaven. Let's stay at our post, because it's for Jesus.
Wow.
Well, it's true.
He makes great points there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, some of these pastors that have just been so faithful, maybe pastoring a flock of 25.
Yeah. Right.
You know, in today's world of big things and big everything and church growth and all this stuff that we go through, and we have to go to seminars on how to grow it and all this and that. I get all that, but the point being is, you're going to be judged for your faithfulness. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Just doing what God called you to do.
Yes.
And my only advice is, and I say this out of failed experience.
Okay.
Stay in your lane.
Oh, yeah.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Every ministry that gets into trouble, they start doing things that God didn't call them to do.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Just be faithful for what God called you to do.
Right.
Got some great guests coming up. We're going to talk about all kinds of things. What do you got there?
Well, when it comes to heavyweight champions, this one by far is the furriest.
Fat Bear Week 2025 has a new heavyweight champ, Bear 32, better known as Chunk. Tipping the imaginary scales at a jaw-dropping 1,200 pounds, the so-called King of Chunk powered past rival bear 856 to take the crown. For the uninitiated, Fat Bear Week is an online bracket-style contest where fans vote on the beefiest bears of Katmai National Park in Alaska. Live webcams let people around the world watch as 12 contenders gorge on salmon to bulk up for the winter hibernation. Chunk's victory is even more impressive considering his history. This massive Bruin once survived a broken jaw, but this year he was unstoppable. The National Park Service had plenty of fun with the announcement. They said, "Heavy is the bear that wears the crown," and this year the junk in Chunk's trunk was just too much to beat. And as to weighing these chunky champions, the Park Service joked, "The volunteer who pulls the shortest stick is handed a bathroom scale."
Really? Yeah, how do you go out and weigh old Chunk? Get that bathroom scale out there. What a great contest, though, and a great, I think a lot of us have tuned into some of those webcams that are on the rivers in Alaska, and there's something just fascinating about watching bears in the river waiting for the salmon to jump and grab them. They're grabbing them in their mouth.
I mean, you talk about, good waders.
Yes, and good fishermen.
So what did Chunk came in at what, 1,200 pounds?
1,200 pounds. Yeah.
Did they have them on a bathroom scale? How did they figure that out?
They're doing calculations. I don't know how they do the calculation. It's probably all AI.
Yeah.
And AI is never wrong, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. Right. So, what's interesting is people don't take wild animals serious. Every once in a while, you can go to Yosemite and you see these people playing around with buffalo or moose.
Yes.
Or bears.
Yes.
You think, did you leave your brain in another state?
Yes, right. Yeah. Scott made a good point about this story. He brought up the case of a guy who went up to Alaska to commune with the bears. And he was living with the bears, and they ate him.
I guess so.
Yeah, they ate him. And then Scott says, was Chunk the one that did it? Because is that where he got his extra weight? It's like, oh, Scott.
Well, it's so interesting because there's all kinds of signs, and yet you see these videos, these people out there, getting in the nose of some of these things.
Right.
And it's very dangerous.
There are a lot of videos about that, yeah. And how come we've become so complacent with wild animals? What's up with that? Is that some people have posted videos and gotten away with it, and they thought that's a good idea? I don't get it.
I don't think we've made the distinction between an animal in the wild and a wild animal that you would see at the zoo or the deer walking around Jacksonville.
Right. Right.
But when they're in their own environment, you need to respect that, because you got to realize it's survival of the fittest, because you're just a candy bar.
Yes. Right.
You're
just the candy bar.
If they had a nice big salmon dinner, they're looking for dessert. You're it.
I love YouTube videos are great. We've even seen videos of skiers coming down the hill being chased by bears.
Yeah. They can go. By the way, if you get, it's interesting. I've been told this. I don't know because I haven't been chased by a bear.
Okay.
But if you're,
go ahead.
You want to go downhill with.
Okay.
But if you're going to go uphill, they'll get you.
Oh.
But if you go downhill, they have a high probability of tripping and rolling.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Well, you go give it a try. Let me know how it works out.
All I know is that I got to run faster than you.
There you go. All right, Psalm 37, verse 39, the salvation of the righteous is from the Lord. He is their stronghold in the time of trouble. There's a promise for you today, Psalm 37, 39. All right, stick around. We're going to go, we're going to go scallop hunting. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that pretty?
Oh.
Mornings are going to be a little brighter, more colorful, more dynamic. Rise and shine to a new day. October 8th on the Dove TV, encouraging and informative.
Co-op, where big ideas grow. At Rogue Hearing in Phoenix, we help you hear life again, clearly and comfortably. From expert hearing tests to custom aids and more, the team at Rogue Hearing delivers care you can trust. Rogue Hearing in Phoenix at the shops at Exit 24. Personalized hearing care right here at home. Chris Silva understands your home and your commercial buildings are two of the largest investments most people make in a lifetime. One is for your family, the other is to support your family financially. That is why Chris Silva Painting goes the extra mile to protect both homes and commercial buildings with proper painting preparation and high-quality primers and paints. Serving Southern Oregon since 2006, this family-owned and operated business has painted over 1,000 homes. Chris Silva Painting offers an industry-leading 5-year warranty that covers materials and labor on all painting projects work for both residential and commercial buildings, both interior and exterior painting. Chris and his crew are courteous, they are efficient, organized, timely, and clean. Chris Silva Painting also offers military discounts. At Chris Silva Painting, our mission statement is to bring Christ's heart and principles to our customers and our job sites. We do that with honesty, integrity, and hard work. We don't cut corners, we paint them. CCB number 176097. Chris Silva Painting, 541-890-3960.
Something big, something exciting, something dynamic is happening at the Dove TV. It's been months in the making. Change is in the air. What is it? Find out October 8th on the Dove TV.
Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
In 6 days, something big is happening at the Dove. Mark your calendar, October 8th, live 6 to 9 a.m.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove with Jerry Bilden.
Yeah, good morning.
And I'm here to, I'm kind of like the guy that follows the horse in the parade.
Okay, all right, let me ask you this. You're in the marching band, okay?
Yeah.
You're going down the street in the parade, and the horses are in front of you.
Yeah, what do you do?
Do you veer, or do you keep marching straight?
You veer.
Yeah, baby. That's the truth.
Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Thursday. There's a lot going on in the news. There always is. The weather is beautiful and very fallish and all of that stuff going on. And let's see, what else can I tell you? Here we are, October 2nd.
Oh,
wow. By the way, the time doesn't change for another month.
1 month exactly, yeah. We fall back.
There we go.
Yep, absolutely.
What's up, man? What do you got?
Well, first of all, National Custodial Workers Recognition Day, celebrating the hardworking personnel that keep our schools, hospitals, office buildings, museums, churches, and other buildings clean and well maintained. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt. It's a great experience. It really is. I'm still the floor king in my house. I can clean floors like nobody you ever saw. And it's all because of that background.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you get scuff marks off of concrete?
I don't know about that.
What are you doing Saturday?
I don't know. You know what?
Over here?
You might want to just paint the concrete. Moving on. Right. National Name Your Car Day. Have you ever named a car?
Nope, never have.
Yeah? Yeah. We have one time. It was Wolfie, our Volkswagen.
Yeah.
After Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and his wife Constance called him Wolfie.
Okay.
And actually one of our kids named it. Anyway, National Fried Scallops Day. It's the only real thing we have to eat, and the word scallop refers to a common name applied to many species of marine bivalve mollusks. Every ocean in the world provides habitat for these mollusks as well. And the name scallop applies to the meat of the scallops when it's used as seafood. The tender meat is harvested in a variety of sizes. Larger medallions grilled deliciously over an open flame. Smaller scallops pair nicely in soups or pasta. However, this tender and prized meat requires very little seasoning and often takes center stage of any meal. But, you know, the seasoning, I think, is pretty important on this.
It is. Otherwise, they're kind of bland.
Yeah.
Have you ever cooked them?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, I guess, you know, it's a delicacy.
Butter and garlic?
Yeah.
Okay.
And salt.
Yeah, why not?
Keep salt until they change good.
Yeah, and the only sugar we have today, the only dessert is Smarties. And I guess coming into, you know, candy season. Yeah, Halloween. Candy season.
Candy season, that's a better word. We'll go with candy season.
And this may be one that escapes RFK Jr.'s list because there are no bright colors in Smarties, just a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
Got to be careful about
that. Hey, Bobby, did you check the Smarties out?
Did you check them? Yeah, well, the high sugar content. Other than that, they are pastel-colored candy tablets, sweet and a little bit sour, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flavors. White is orange cream, yellow is pineapple, cherry is pink, is the pink one. Green is strawberry.
All right.
Purple is grape, and orange is, orange.
All right.
Yeah, so enjoy your Smarties. Okay. It is also National Produce Misting Day.
All right.
And this recognizes the innovation that keeps fruits and vegetables fresh. Misted fingertips rest assured that produce remains crisp, plump, hydrated, and nutrient-dense. Before automatic misting systems, groceries threw away way too many dated products. No one likes to waste food, especially those in the business. As a solution, grocers used to soak burlap potato sacks in water. At night, they laid them over their stock, and the wet sacks helped prevent the vegetables and fruits from drying out. But in 1979, along came an innovation that changed how we get our fresh food. Automatic produce misting systems revolutionized the grocery world. And while these systems extended the shelf life of fruits and vegetables, it also increased the variety of foods available. They were able to bring in more exotic fruits and vegetables and keep them fresher, longer. Enjoy National Misting Day.
All right. Well, here's a guy that when Pam walks by, his mystifier turns on.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, showers likely with the possibility of afternoon thunderstorms and daytime highs in the mid to upper 60s for Vancouver, Portland, and McMinnville, and near 70 in Wilsonville. Moving down the Willamette Valley with a chance of showers and thunderstorms from Salem through Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with daytime highs near 69 and lows in the upper 40s to low 50s. In central Oregon, mostly cloudy with a slight chance of showers in mid-60s in Prineville, a chance of showers in near 61 in Bend and 59 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, a slight chance of showers in near 70. A chance of showers along the coast, then clearing to partly sunny with daytime highs near 69 in Coos Bay, 63 in Port Orford, upper 50s in Brookings, and near 61 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, cloudy, gradually becoming sunny with a slight chance of showers near 70 in Grants Pass and Medford and mid-60s in Ashland. Mostly cloudy with a high near 58 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, mostly cloudy with a high near 64 in Wairika. A slight chance of showers, then partly sunny in 71 in Redding. A slight chance of showers, then mostly cloudy and near 70 in Chico and 74 in Sacramento. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then partly sunny with highs in the low 70s for Santa Rosa and Napa. Partly sunny in San Francisco with a high near 70, and a slight chance of rain and patchy fog in San Jose, then partly sunny and 72. A look at your Thursday weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, there's a beautiful picture looking almost due west this morning, and little clouds, kind of a little bit of a mist out there this morning, so pretty nice.
Well, you know, you look at the state of affairs in the world and you wonder, is the Lord in this?
Yeah.
Is he really in control? Well, here with some great encouragement is Dr. David Jeremiah.
The Lord reigns. Let the people tremble. He dwells between the cherubim. Let the earth be moved. The Lord has established his throne in heaven, and his kingdom rules over all. But our God is in heaven. He does whatever he pleases. I like that one. All of these verses and so many others convey the same thing, that God is in charge. He is on his throne, and he always will be on his throne. He rules and he reigns in the affairs of men worldwide, from history to prophecy, from sea to sea, from time to eternity. I don't know that there's any truth in all the world that should comfort us more in this day in which we live than this, that God is in control. And someone says, well, why don't we talk about that anymore in our churches? Well, first of all, we don't even talk about the Bible anymore in a lot of our churches. But this is a biblical truth, and it's at odds with what's going on in our world today. It's because this is the day of humanism. This is the era when people want autonomy and independence and the absolute right to do whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it, whatever feels good. We attend seminars that tell us whatever we can conceive, we can believe, and whatever we can believe, we can achieve and receive. If we just give humanity a little bit more time, we're told, all of the ills and problems and difficulties of life will be resolved because man has become his own God. But permit me to ask a question this morning. How are you doing, sovereign man?
Only he can put it in perspective like that.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff all the way around. 8 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at the big story. And there's one that just keeps kind of unfolding this morning. And actually, there is one other. We'll keep an eye on it. But there was a stabbing at a synagogue in Manchester, England earlier today. And apparently one person is dead, 4 have been injured. Apparently the aggressor has been taken out. But gosh, look at this. We had a Mormon church, a bunch of people shot, okay, quite a few injured, burns down, preceded by Charlie Kirk. And then we have this, a synagogue.
Yeah, we had kids attacked in
the Catholic
prayers.
Church, in prayer church.
Right.
I'm telling you, folks, we need to be vigilant about all this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, the story in the United States is the government is partially shut down. Have you noticed how peaceful it is out there?
It is quite, yeah.
You notice that we are actually smiling? Somehow we're getting along.
Your health care insurance hasn't been canceled.
Yeah, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's been shut down. This does provide an interesting possibility for the president under these new rules when the government now is in somewhat of a, I guess you could call it an emergency state. What can the president do? But really, how did this happen? And what is it all about? Well, here's Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, explaining it.
Almost 2 weeks ago, the House did our job. In the House, we passed a common sense, nonpartisan bill to keep the government open. Republicans did our job. We had one Democrat join us there, so it was bipartisan. But every other Democrat in the House voted to shut the government down. And last night, 44 Democrats in the Senate did the same thing. This is a clean resolution. It would simply buy Congress a few more weeks, 7 weeks, to finish the job. Why do we need that time? So that appropriators in both parties can finish their work. They've been restoring regular order. They've passed 12 separate bills out of committee in the House, and the Senate has done its work as well. 3 bills of the 12 passed in each chamber. They don't line up exactly, so there's a conference committee constituted, the first time in years that that's happened. We just need more time because we ran out of clock at the end of the fiscal year, September 30. This is very important to note. Democrats themselves have voted to pass a clean bipartisan CR just like this 13 times in the last few years. During the 4 years of the Biden administration, 13 times this happened. Republicans did the responsible thing, even when we were in the minority, to keep the government open. And today should be no different. There is nothing new in this legislation. There's no poison pill. There's no partisan tricks. There's no gimmicks whatsoever. The only difference today is the man who is sitting in the Oval Office. Rather than work with President Trump and Republicans to get this job done, as our party has done repeatedly in the same situation over the years, Democrats want to play political games with the lives and the livelihoods of Americans. The simple truth is Democrats in Congress have dragged our country into another reckless shutdown to satisfy their far-left base. That is the truth. Whether or not the government remains open or reopens is entirely up to them.
Okay, so we're in day 2 of this, and this is kind of interesting because then you look over to a gentleman. He's the actually director of the office and the Office of Management and Budget, and his name is Russell Voigt, and he basically said that Now, going into day 1 and 2, possibly today, if not tomorrow, the president is saying, okay, we're in this area now where we're going to take measures that we have to take, and these layoffs could become permanent. And the president's basically saying, doing this. Now, a lot of people said the president will take advantage of this in order to reshape government and cut its size. Does he have the power? Apparently he does, but you can almost bet it'll be challenged.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, the Democrats have shut this down primarily over one thing. They wanted an extra $1 trillion in this continuing resolution to pay for the medical services for illegal immigrants.
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy.
Right.
And so, anyway, we are shut down for another day. We'll see where this is going to go. They tried to vote again yesterday to reopen the government. They didn't have enough votes to do that. The Democrats held out. They need 8 Democrats to vote with Republicans in the Senate because you need a majority to do that, and that means 60. Rand Paul, who has always voted against CRs, so you have to pick up that plus 7, and so that's 8. So we'll see. I think yesterday he had 3 or 4 committed, but that's only halfway there. So we'll see what happens. All right, so much for that on this Wake Up. It is your Friday Eve. We'll be right back.
Grace, how sweet the sound. I hear you singing over me. I once was lost, but now I'm found.
Where big ideas grow.
Put your gold in an envelope, mail it. Hopefully you get a check. Nah. Father and son jewelry, bring your gold in, we weigh it, we check it, we make you the offer.
Or turn your something old into something new. Whether it's an idea, a picture, or a piece you want to duplicate, we can melt it down and make it for you.
If you find your perfect piece in store, trade your something old for something new, and you always get a little extra.
Visit Father and Son Jewelry, 5 generations of family in Medford.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian owned and operated, pet friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
Okay, welcome back. Happy Thursday, 16 minutes past the hour. A couple things happening in our own state up there in Salem. As you know, the big tax bill got passed. It hasn't been signed by the governor yet. But more and more information is coming out. I hope to have one of the leaders on, either Christine Drazen from the House or Bruce Starr from the Senate, to talk about the referendum. And they need 77,000 signatures to get a referendum to really stop all this stuff and put it on the ballot for Oregonians to vote on. So I think they're going to go for 125 to 150,000. Been told they've been given 90 days to do that. That clock hasn't started ticking yet, but we should be able to do this. And that will put it on the ballot and everything gets stopped. So that's one way to kind of really throw it back in their face. So in the meantime, the problems with the federal buildings up in Portland continue to be a huge problem. And more people now are saying they want the National Guard to come in. Antifa up there, which is now considered a domestic terrorist organization, has been causing problems for well over 100 nights, and the police basically are doing nothing. The journalist from Fox Digital went up there, and his name was David Marcus, and he caught up with several counter-protesters on the streets there and said that they're sick of Antifa being there and what's going on. They want the National Guard to be brought in. Some of the residents in and around those areas say this has just gone on way too long. And as you know, the president's asking for 200 National Guard to go in, and but the governor and the president have talked on the phone, I understand, twice now, and she says, it's not a problem. We don't need them. But the problem is not being solved, and it continues to go on. 166 National Guards up and down I-5 in various divisions have volunteered to go up there. And so we'll wait and see. But apparently she's been given 12 hours to make her decision. In the meantime, we'll see where this goes. This 12-hour period, I'm not even sure when it started. But she, even after talking to the president the second time, we don't need these people. We don't need them here. Well, then why aren't you solving the problem? Right. Well, there is no problem. Right. Baloney. There's a huge problem, you know.
There's no problem because it's their people on the streets doing their bidding.
It's just crazy. Yeah. To your point, you go out there on Sunday morning, no, you don't see anything. You go out there in the middle of the morning, you don't see anything. But, you know, as soon as the sun goes down, that turns into a war zone.
Well, and see, that's the whole point, is that I keep seeing these posts on Facebook from folks who are walking around on the streets in Portland, like on a Wednesday afternoon or a Wednesday morning, and they, you know, and they're videotaping, and everything is going on as normal. It's like, yeah, but you got to remember, the rats are coming out at night.
Yeah.
That's when all this stuff is taken. But get out there while the game's going on, you know? It's, you know, it's that Yankee Stadium thing. You know, nobody's playing in Yankee Stadium in January. Go videotape and say, there's no baseball here. Move along. Move along.
Well, it's very controversial. We'll see how it plays out. But apparently the Guard's going in and standing by, ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's check in with Wall Street on this Thursday morning. Again, our good buddy over there at Smart Lawn, Preston. By the way, I was thinking about that the other day. I told you his new byline on is, this is where you trade your stinky, noisy lawnmower in for a battery-propelled blower. When you put in a Smart Lawn.
Okay.
You never mow again. Yeah. All right, the Dow's up 107, almost 108 points. NAS is up 69, and the S&P, ooh, look at that, 6.66. Oops. Interesting number. Look at this. Gold, $3,900 an ounce. Whew. Silver at $47.29, and crude oil's down about 2 pennies, $65.11 a barrel.
Well, the capitalist center of the world, New York City, is toying with electing a socialist Muslim mayor. What a thought. Well, United Refining...
I wrote your name in.
Yeah, well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Chairman and CEO John Katsimatidis responded to this clip of New York mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani on Mornings with Maria.
We are standing here on Billionaires Row, or as I call it, Avenue Andrew. While I'm fighting for Eric Adams' voters, Andrew Cuomo is fighting for Eric Adams' donors. New York City deserves better than yet another mayor bought by billionaires. He is being funded by Trump supporting billionaires, by the very people that have funded Donald Trump's return to the White House. I think Donald Trump is going through the stages of grief. I think the first stage was denial, that we could ever be on the precipice of winning this race. I think the stage that he has now reached is somewhat of acceptance, yet he continues to ask himself what he could do to stop our campaign.
I think we have 32, 33 days left to the election. And a lot of New Yorkers, especially the real estate industry, is panicking because they're afraid that if they have $1 billion worth of real estate, tomorrow morning, 32 days from now, it might be worth a half the price. It's a Democratic town. I think President Trump has said that it's more likely that Cuomo beats Zoran than anybody else. If Cuomo has the best chance of winning, then I would support him. Curtis is a member of our family, Curtis Sliwa, and if he got elected, it's not the end of the world. He knows New York City better than anybody else. But the fact is, it's a Democratic town, and what Cuomo has to say, I'm the real Democrat. Zoram is a socialist.
Yeah.
And if that message goes out to all Democratic people that he's not a real Democrat, he's a socialist. If you saw some of the videos of him addressing the Socialist Party, I mean, it sounds worse than Castro. And I think the American people have to come to a reality. And the last mayoral election, 23% of the people voted. That's not acceptable.
Yeah.
Great point.
Mm-hmm.
Run as a Democrat and let the other guy be the socialist.
Yeah.
You got to remember, he won that nomination for only 14% of the vote.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And and it was basically on the backs of millennials that did it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, do we see Saul Alinsky's doctrinal 8 steps to topple a nation taking place
Rules
here?
for Radicals is now being played out in the country, the country and the world, quite frankly. But the United States is in a state of anxiety right now, and you're going to understand that part of this anxiety is part of a plan. That sounds very conspiratorial, but if you make society so scrambled, they win.
Yeah, right.
And that's their goal. And it's right out of the book, Rules for Radicals.
Right, and it's interesting too, because you're just saying, say I'm the Democrat candidate, he's the socialist. Unfortunately, Democrats in large numbers are embracing socialism right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hillary Clinton used Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals as portions of her dissertation. And of course, Saul Alinsky's 8 steps to topple a nation are: number 1, healthcare, control healthcare, you control people; poverty, increase poverty as high as possible. Poor people are easier to control. Debt, increase the debt to an unsustainable level. That way you're able to increase taxes and produce more poverty. Gun control, remove the ability to defend themselves from the government. Welfare, take control of every aspect of their lives: food, housing, and income. Education, take control of what people read and listen to. Take control of what children learn in school, and boy, do we see that. Religion, remove the belief of God from government and schools. And finally, class warfare, divide the people into the wealthy and the poor. This will cause more discontent, and it'll be easier to take the wealthy with their support from the poor. So are these principles being applied right now from the left?
Well, look, they have been applied.
Yes.
We're not trying to prevent them from being applied. They have been applied.
Right.
We're trying to unwind it right now. So, but folks, if you're a believer, get a hold of yourself. God is in control of this.
Yeah.
And that's the interesting part, in that you can find the peace and the safety that you're looking for there. So the question is, how's God going to use this? God's odds are always seemingly unfair.
Yeah.
Now, many times they got their back up against the water, and guess what? He parts the water. But there's another principle. It's called the law of reciprocity. What goes around comes around.
Yeah.
You don't break God's laws break you. And it's just a matter of time. All right, good morning to you. Happy Thursday. Scallops
and
garlic.
And what are the Smarties?
I don't know if the Smartie on a scalp will go anywhere.
No.
I think we had to run the Smarties through Bobby's school of consideration.
You know what they would do, though? You know what they do? They would take on Chopped. They would do scallops in one, and then they put Smarties alongside with it and see how these chefs are going to deal with it.
Gave it to the judge, and they'd probably win something.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
Something big, something exciting, something dynamic is happening at the Dove TV. It's been months in the making, and you've made it all possible by your faithful giving. Change is in the air, a difference you'll see. Mornings will never be the same. What is it? Find out October 8th. on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative.
Every day in Southern Oregon, lives are shaken by poverty, violence, and hardship. Last year alone, the Salvation Army reached more than 11,000 people in Jackson County with food, shelter, and critical support. Behind every meal served, every family housed, and every life restored, there's a volunteer making it happen. Please join us. There are many ways you can volunteer and make a difference in someone's life today. The Salvation Army doing the most good together. This message made possible by the Oregon Health Authority Hospital-Based Intervention Grant.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
Looking for the perfect RV adventure?
Team Toner's got you covered from homes to homes on wheels.
Discover unbeatable deals only at American RV in Southern Oregon.
Well, good morning. Happy Thursday to you. Well, as you know, the president came up with a 20-point peace plan, and everybody, this is really pretty astounding. Everybody's on board except for Hamas, and they've been given a deadline, I think within the next 12 hours or 24 hours, to accept the peace plan. If not, then I think the president will okay Israel to finish the job. Now, the interesting thing about this, there's nobody that cannot say we didn't try everything.
Yeah.
And when you even got Qatar and other countries on board with this, so certainly those that are part of the Abraham Peace Accord, I mean, that whole thing is just amazing. So here it is, and now it's in the hands of the Hamas. Part of that is there is no two-state solution.
Right.
It's give up the hostages, the live ones and the dead ones, and let's end this war and reconstitute the area and get people living together. Big deal, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. So let's check in with CBN Newswatch and get the latest.
This is CBN Newswatch.
It is Thursday, the 2nd of October, going to begin this half hour with the high-stakes diplomacy in the Middle East aimed at bringing the war in Gaza to an end. Hamas is hinting at a possible ceasefire, but the situation still is not clear, as Israel is keeping up its fight against Hamas. And here in the United States, evangelical Christians are rallying behind Israel's claims on the biblical lands of Judea and Samaria in the West Bank. CBN's George Thomas has our report.
As Israeli forces keep tightening their grip on Hamas in Gaza, there's word from Arab mediators that the terror group may be warming to a U.S.-backed ceasefire deal, but they're asking for more time to go over the terms.
We look forward to a political solution of importance. Whether it's a two-state solution or a similar proposal, it should be based on the simplest things we desire most: freedom, dignity, justice, and equality.
Hamas is pushing back on demands to disarm and turn over all their weapons. The plan also calls for the release of 48 hostages within 72 hours. Hamas says they don't even know where all of them are. They're also skeptical the plan offers Palestinians a path to statehood. Meanwhile, tens of thousands are still fleeing Gaza City. Israel's defense minister says those who stay will be seen as supporting terror.
I came out at 8 a.m. It's now 2 p.m. I've been walking for over 8 continuous hours.
Today, the Israeli Navy also intercepted an aid flotilla headed for Gaza, detaining activists who tried to break the blockade. And in a surprise move, President Trump has signed an executive order pledging to defend Qatar, calling it a key U.S. ally in the region. This comes after Israel launched an attack on Hamas leaders in Qatar, which Trump criticized. At the same time, as Jews mark Yom Kippur, around 200 American evangelical leaders are calling on Trump to back Israel's claim to Judea and Samaria, also known as the West Bank. The Family Research Council recently sent a letter to the president voicing support.
This is the heartland of Israel. 80% of what we read about in our Bibles took place there in Judea and Samaria. And it's been the topic of the quote-unquote two-state solution going back 70 years. We support the president. He's done so much for Israel, but warned that there's danger when we move in opposite direction of what the Word of God says as it pertains to the nation of Israel.
And this show of support comes as a new New York Times Siena University poll finds American support for Israel has slipped ever since that deadly Hamas attack nearly 2 years ago. George Thomas, CBN News.
And as George Thomas just reported, Israel is observing the Yom Kippur holiday, the Day of Atonement, and the deadline is approaching for Hamas to accept the proposed ceasefire deal for Gaza. President Donald Trump has given the terrorist organization until this weekend to accept or reject the offer. In this week's episode of The Global Lane, Jonathan Tobin, editor-in-chief of the Jewish News Syndicate, emphasizes this deal is distinct from previous offers made to Hamas.
The difference in this plan is not so much, the assumptions that, underlie some of the details, but the fact that President Trump has promised that if Hamas doesn't accept peace, if it doesn't release the hostages, disarm, leave Gaza, turn it over to an international authority, that he will give a green light to Israel to finish Hamas off. That's the difference. In the past, we've had lots of peace plans with lots of theoretical ideas about peace that all sounded good. Indeed, the assumptions behind this current plan all sound good. It just takes a tremendous leap of faith to believe that the Palestinians have had or are willing to change their political culture and embrace peace. But the difference now is that the United States is, adding the or else, which is why it's being Trump is being criticized by many on the left. They don't like it, the fact that Hamas isn't being given leeway. They don't like the fact that Hamas is being told, take it or else. But that is the difference here. A lot of the other details in it, in some ways seems like a repeat of past efforts to make peace. The assumption that pouring more aid into Gaza and trusting that there is some kind of, I would say, mythical group of Palestinian technocrats who are apolitical and have no interest in destroying Israel. All of those assumptions, they're basically fairy tales, which would be nice if it all came true. But the difference, again, is this time the United States means business, or at least it says it means business, and that is to the good.
All right, there we go. Keep an eye on it. All right, let's check out the weather for you with the guy that just loves scallops even on his toast.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, showers likely with the possibility of afternoon thunderstorms and daytime highs in the mid to upper 60s for Vancouver, Portland, and McMinnville, and near 70 in Wilsonville. Moving down the Willamette Valley with a chance of showers and thunderstorms from Salem through Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with daytime highs near 69 and lows in the upper 40s to low 50s. In central Oregon, mostly cloudy with a slight chance of showers in mid-60s in Prineville, a chance of showers in near 61 in Bend and 59 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, a slight chance of showers in near 70. A chance of showers along the coast, then clearing to partly sunny with daytime highs near 69 in Coos Bay, 63 in Port Orford, upper 50s in Brookings, and near 61 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, cloudy, gradually becoming sunny with a slight chance of showers near 70 in Grants Pass and Medford and mid-60s in Ashland. Mostly cloudy with a high near 58 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, mostly cloudy with a high near 64 in Wairika. A slight chance of showers, then partly sunny in 71 in Redding. A slight chance of showers, then mostly cloudy and near 70 in Chico and 74 in Sacramento. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then partly sunny with highs in the low 70s for Santa Rosa and Napa. Partly sunny in San Francisco with a high near 70, and a slight chance of rain and patchy fog in San Jose, then partly sunny and 72. A look at your Thursday weather from Grange Co-op.
And there's a little picture of our Thursday. We have some clouds, cool temperatures, and maybe a shower, a sprinkle here and there. But for the most part, pretty nice out there.
Okay, well, It was a TV show that started with a trademark image, a memorable theme song, and a two-word greeting, and it premiered on this day in history.
Good evening.
October 2nd, 1955, a night of suspense on American television. That's when Alfred Hitchcock Presents made its debut on CBS. The show was hosted by the master of suspense himself, stepping out from behind the movie screen and into living rooms across the country. At the time, some in the film industry scoffed. They said Hitchcock was lowering himself by working in the lesser medium of television. But Hitchcock had already proven himself a pioneer. Back in 1929, he directed Blackmail, England's very first talking picture. And over the years, he delivered classics like Rebecca, Notorious, and Strangers on a Train. By turning to television, Hitchcock was once again ahead of the curve. His series blended dark humor, sharp storytelling, and chilling suspense, setting a new standard for television drama. And in doing so, he made millions of viewers part of his audience right at home on their sofas. Alfred Hitchcock Presents didn't just premiere on this day in 1955, it helped prove that television could be just as powerful a stage as the silver screen.
Good evening.
Good evening. A very interesting fellow indeed. Now, he dealt with some, dark subjects, obviously, but he did things in a shall we say, graphic, violent way. I mean, he dealt with violence, but it wasn't graphic. Even on the big screen in Psycho, one of the most famous scenes of all, it, really is tame by today's standards.
Well, remember a couple things. It was black and white.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Good evening.
Yeah.
But the one that kept you with the covers almost pulled up over your head was The Birds.
Yeah, in fact, he had to take a second out on his house to make that one.
Really?
Yeah, the studios didn't want to fund it.
Really?
Yeah, so he and his wife, they did that on their own. There's an interesting biography on him on streaming right now that you can watch. He's just...
Was it kind of weird?
Yeah. Well, look at his films. Yeah, go
well, the way he said it, it's kind of like, was something going to come out of the closet and grab you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, The Birds was filmed in Bodega Bay, California, on the coast.
Right.
There was a little cafe restaurant there at a little harbor area, and I remember as a kid going there with my parents. But the bird thing was just woo.
And one of the things that struck me too was his history in filmmaking. I didn't realize he made the first talking picture in England.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the very first talkie.
Wow.
How about that? Good evening. Good evening.
All right. Well, listen, we've had a lot lately that's quite alarming of Christian persecution in various areas. And in some places, we don't even hear about how bad it is. I mean, up in the Congo and some of those areas, it is absolutely horrible. Not to mention this morning, there was a synagogue that was attacked in Manchester, England. We had the church shooting with the children praying in a pew at a Catholic school. Yeah. Charlie Kirk. This is getting pretty serious.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, here's a message that sounds like it could have been given today by the late Billy Graham talking about Christian persecution.
When I used to think of martyrs, I used to have to project myself back 2,000 years and think of the martyrs under Rome. And I would visualize the great arenas where the martyrs would go out and be torn apart by the lions and the wild beasts, or would go to a stake and be burned. But did you know that more people have died in the 20th century for Jesus Christ than any century in the history of the Christian church? Think of the few in the last few weeks we've read about. Dr. Paul Carlson in the Congo. Jim Elliot among the Auca Indians in Latin America. Those heroes of the cross in South Vietnam that have been captured in the villages, and they would ask for the head man who was a Christian, and they would cut his tongue and his eyes out and then bury him live. Many stories of torture and death. Blood is being spilled on the ground once again in our generation, in our century, for Jesus Christ. Will it come to America? Will it come to Canada? Will it come to Western Europe? It may come. And it may come in our lifetime. We don't know what the future holds. Things are moving so fast now. Tremendous things are taking place in our world. And we must have a faith that is willing to suffer, and the kind of a faith that wilts at a party when temptation comes. The kind of a faith that wilts at a high school or a college and won't stand up and suffer the little bit of social ostracism that might come if you're a Christian in your particular area, in your business, in your neighborhood, in your school. That kind of a faith won't stand as Paul Carlson had to stand, and as Jim Elliot had to stand, and many others that have died in the last few months for Jesus Christ.
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Something very big is happening at the Dove. Change is in the air. A difference you'll see. What is it? Watch October 8th. The Dove TV, encouraging and informative.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
Answers with Bayless Conley on the Dove TV.
The root of sin was so deep, and the distance between God and man was so great that nothing short of the blood of God's own Son could remedy the situation.
Pastor and author Bayless Conley is known for his clear presentation of the gospel and the way he applies it to life's changing truths.
We were the sheep that went astray, but he was the lamb that was slaughtered. He suffered for us in our place.
He shares answers he's found years ago when trying to find fulfillment in his own life. After chasing everything imaginable, he discovered true lasting hope exists only in a relationship with Jesus.
I'm going to share a secret with you that if you'll listen and if you'll apply it, it will change your life.
Get answers to life's biggest questions with Bayless Conley, Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Dove TV.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Burgers, salads, sandwiches, barbecue platters, sides, and more. Smoked, grilled, and served to perfection. Sweet Tea Express, breakfast, burgers, and barbecue.
Welcome back. Happy Thursday to you. Well, everything indication now that, well, first of all, we've had Dr. George Barna on many times, and he was talking about how there seems to be a genuine move of young males towards Christianity, towards church life. Some of these, I would say, ecumenical churches, or like the Catholic Church, the Orthodox Church, they're seeing a huge flood of incoming young people. Evangelical churches are seeing a huge flood. Since Charlie Kirk, I read an article 2 days ago, since Charlie Kirk's assassination, church attendance in America went up 15% in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So something is happening. Some people have called it the silent morality movement is coming alive, okay, pushing back. And you're seeing it across the landscape. Let me ask you this. If there is genuinely a move and an interest and a hunger of young people coming to church, we who have been in church for a long time doing it our way, are we prepared to receive them? And do we have the patience to let them come in knowing that they're coming in hungry And they're not like us.
That's huge. Yes.
They are the next generation. I'm not talking about theological compromise. I'm just talking about good old patience and welcoming them and realize they're coming in the church, maybe not even saved, but coming in looking for truth. And then do we have the patience to disciple them?
Boy, that's a huge question. Yeah.
Quit cleaning the fish before you catch them.
And is this movement that we saw spurred by Charlie Kirk with young men, is that about to happen as his wife continues at the helm with young women?
Yes, and that is the other thing. And by the way, 40,000 chapters have been started and a request for 100,000 more.
That's wild.
In fact, I did not know this. I got a letter yesterday from Brad Dacus, who heads up the Pacific Justice Institute. I had him on the show the other day.
Yeah.
He and his organization is offering pro bono legal services to any of the Turning Point USA chapters in the United States. Okay. And apparently one has formed here in Southern Oregon, and they've asked him, from seeing him on the Dove the other day, to come and do a speech.
No kidding.
And he emails me back and say, you know, what do you think? I said, come on.
Come on, yeah.
So anyway, something is happening. But my thought is this: are we ready for this? Do we have the patience for this? Realize that when somebody comes to Christ, they're not born full grown.
Yeah.
And they're going to need discipling. They're not going to look like you, sound like you, talk like you, think like you, and you're going to have a lot of patience. Don't water the gospel down. They're looking for the hard truth. You can give it to them in love. Okay. Now, I talked to Dr. Alex McFarland about this because he deals with young people all day long. And I asked him, I said, are we ready for this? And do we have the patience? And here's what he had to say.
I would say probably a number of them aren't. And let me just say, as a guy that has kind of been at the rodeo for a long time, and Perry, I will tell you, in 30 years we have surveyed 250,000 teenagers, literally 250,000 plus. And I want to say this to everybody: the risk is not going too deep, but being too shallow. Because kids today, I want to challenge pastors that they want to drill down deeply into the Word of God. They want to hear from mature saints how to navigate this thing called life. So churches, don't feel like you've got to water down and be cutesy. The kids today, they're not looking for a fluffy Jesus bunny. That they want meat. They really do. Look, I mean, you know, every summer we would do 10 summer camps if we had the resources to do it. So I want to encourage that it's not just truth, although that's you know, everything, biblical truth, but it's life. How do you mature as a believer? How do you live a life that is God honoring? We have godly Christian ladies that talk to the girls. We have godly men that talk to the guys. Guess what? One of the number one questions that guys are asking us is, how do I find a wife? Now don't laugh, but I have to tell you this. Guys have been asking us in our mentoring sessions with young men, how do you ask a girl out on a date?
Yeah.
Perry, you and I came up and maybe there was more social interaction. But Angie and I, my wife and I, have been married 36 years. Thank you, Jesus. Guys have asked me, they'll say, how did you find Angie? And you've been married 35 years. How do I do that?
Now, as simple as that is, it is the absolute truth. You got to remember, you know what Charlie Kirk said?
What?
Go to church, find a godly woman, marry her, and have more kids than you can afford. Okay?
I love that advice.
That's what he said.
That's awesome.
Okay? So there is a hunger for truth. Now, to his point is, don't water down the gospel. Don't make it say something that it's not. They're looking for the hardcore truth.
Right.
Why so many are being drawn to, like the Orthodox Church or the Catholic Church, is because of the structure.
Right. Right.
Everything in those churches means something.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And they're looking for, so it goes back to something, I've said 40 years of being here, and that is, do you know what you believe?
Yeah.
Next question, do you know why you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
Next question, can you gracefully defend it? So if you're inviting them to the church and you say that Jesus is the answer, can you explain that to them without watering it down? And the best thing you can do is tell them your story.
Mm-hmm.
So get ready, churches. This is happening. And have the patience, have the tolerance. They're not going to come in looking like you.
Right, good.
Or smelling like you.
Oh, yes.
And they're going to come in all tattooed up, and they're going to be all pierced up and all that stuff. Are you ready for this?
They may not wear the same flip-flops as
Yeah.
you.
Well, now that could be the drawing point. I mean, we may have to have a meeting on that one.
Yeah, but we know that especially young people are looking for the truth, and we've seen some really interesting reactions to the Charlie Kirk assassination. One of them came at Starbucks when people referenced Charlie Kirk, his favorite drink, and some disparaging remarks were written on their cups.
Yeah, loser.
Loser, yes. And another one said racist's favorite drink. That was done at one Starbucks as well. And I think some people are saying enough with Starbucks. Well, on the other hand, did you see there's a story coming out of California? An independent coffee shop in California has put stickers on their coffee cups honoring Charlie Kirk. Their business has gone up 312%.
I saw that yesterday.
312%. Not only did they support Charlie Kirk, but they've been putting pro-Israel stickers on cups as well. So, some people are standing up for the truth, and others are responding.
We're in a dividing point. By the way, Starbucks is closing three stores in our backyard.
And they're just a few of a number of Starbucks that are closing.
I think 1,600 across the country is
like
the first wave. Now, the old saying, go woke, go broke, but it's more than that. I think people, I don't know who told me this, but the term sticks in my head, silent morality. There's an awakening of us. People know we've been going down the wrong track. People know you can't take a boy and turn him into a girl.
Right.
People know that you can't put a boy in a girl's locker room.
Yes.
Okay. People know this stuff. They know that all this stuff is wrong.
Right.
And so it looks like this silent morality is waking up and pushing back. And you're going to see companies lose their edge.
Yeah.
Now, some of the big corporations are finally getting rid of DEI and realizing there's life on the other side of it. And quite frankly, it's more profitable.
And it was interesting. We all watched what went on yesterday. Pete Hegseth, the president, what's going on in the U.S. military. Again, the same movement, getting rid of the wokeism, getting rid of DEI.
And enlistment just went through the
roof. Yeah. What are Democrats not getting in all of this?
I don't know, but they got a leak in all four tires, and they better wake up.
That's very good. Okay, let's talk about heavyweights.
You're one.
Yeah, thank you very much. When it comes to heavyweight champions, this one is by far the furriest. Fat Bear Week 2025 has a new heavyweight champ, Bear 32, better known as Chunk. Tipping the imaginary scales at a jaw-dropping 1,200 pounds, the so-called King of Chunk powered past rival bear 856 to take the crown. For the uninitiated, Fat Bear Week is an online bracket-style contest where fans vote on the beefiest bears of Katmai National Park in Alaska. Live webcams let people around the world watch as 12 contenders gorge on salmon to bulk up for the winter hibernation. Chunk's victory is even more impressive considering his history. This massive Bruin once survived a broken jaw, but this year he was unstoppable. The National Park Service had plenty of fun with the announcement. They said, "Heavy is the bear that wears the crown, and this year the junk in Chunk's trunk was just too much to beat." And as to weighing these chunky champions, the Park Service joked, "The volunteer who pulls the shortest stick is handed a bathroom scale."
So who's going to go put the crown on Chunk?
You know what? There were some videos where they're superimposing a crown over his head. Yeah. It's the guy that's going to go out with the bathroom scale.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah. But, that's interesting, too, because, we've seen a lot of tourist encounters with wildlife. I didn't see any tourists out there messing with the bears.
No, Chunk, you come encounter in Chunk, you're a candy bar.
But it is fun. There are some sites where you can go, and I've watched before. I didn't realize that they had a contest going where you could actually vote for the chunkiest bear.
All right.
But
good stuff.
So be it.
All right. Good scripture for you today. Psalm 37, verse 39. The salvation of the righteous is from the Lord, and he is their stronghold in the time of trouble. Take that with you. Psalm 37, verse 39. Beautiful shot of our southern. Notice things are starting to turn green again?
Yeah.
The rain's doing that. Good stuff. All right.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
Big ideas grow.
At Kelly's Automotive Service,
being good stewards of what God has entrusted to us
is at the core of our business.
We believe what we do matters.
Every interaction, every transaction is another opportunity
to bring Christ's values into the marketplace.
If you're a technician who wants to be part of something bigger,
or just looking for a new shop to bring your vehicle,
we would love to meet you.
We're Kelly's Automotive Service,
where we service your vehicle
but take care of you.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
Something big, something exciting, something dynamic is happening at the Dove TV. It's been months in the making, and you've made it all possible by your faithful giving. Change is in the air, a difference you'll see. Mornings will never be the same. What is it? Find out October 8th on the Dove TV, encouraging and informative. In 6 days, something big is happening at the Dove. Mark your calendar, October 8th, live 6 to 9 a.m.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and been looking forward to our guest this morning for quite some time. Dean Sykes is with us. He's the author of You Matter, Finding Hope and Meaning in Everyday Life. Since 1993, Dean has traveled the world and spoke to more than 4,200 events, sharing a powerful message of hope with teenagers. He hosts a national broadcast, You Matter Television, and has written over 32 books to encourage teens and their families. And there's a picture of that book on the screen. He does have a website, youmatter.us, and you can check that out as well, youmatter.us. Dean, good to see you. How are you, friend?
Hey, good morning. So happy to be with you this morning.
Thank you. Where are you? Where are we getting you from?
I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee, southeast Tennessee.
Oh, good for you. All right. Well, come to Oregon and we'll teach you how to fish.
You know what? I'm going to take you up on that. I would thoroughly enjoy doing that.
Okay, good to see you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your work. I've been looking forward to having you for quite some time. What prompted you to write You Matter? What's going on here?
Yeah, you know, we have just invested the last almost 34 years now of my being on the road speaking in high schools across America and in nations around the world, sharing this, what we call You Matter message of hope. It's a message that says God loves you. He's got a plan for your life. And because you're breathing, you matter. And, you know, over the last, I don't know, almost 3 decades now, we have really seen a dramatic increase in teenage suicide attempts. Every day in America, 5,600 teenagers attempt to end their life. To give you a visual, in an arena that seats 12,000 people, that arena would fill up every 2.5 days with teenagers who in the previous 60 hours had bought the lie. And so the Lord really just put it on my heart to just deal with it directly. The You Matter message became, it started out as a message, it became a mission, which became a movement. And the book is just something that it encapsulates the message of why you matter. It's one thing to know that you do matter. It's much more important, in my view, to understand why. And it's all birthed out of 16 words that comprise Job 33:4 that says, the Spirit of God made you, and the breath of the Almighty gives you life. So when teenagers asked me as early as yesterday, I was in Illinois, they said, why do you say that we matter? And I just smile and go, you're breathing. That's why you matter. And so, you know, we're seeing literally hundreds of teenagers choose not to end their life after hearing this message of hope, getting a copy of the book. And just last night, we did an event after a number of assemblies yesterday. A lot of teenagers came together at what we call Evenings of Hope. And we had 127 teenagers get born again last night after hearing a very simple message that we share. And so that's what gave birth to it. Now we're on this just mission to get this book into the hand to as many students as possible.
That's wonderful. Again, youmatter.us is a website, and check out the book. So, Dean, how did the Charlie Cook assassination impact what you're doing?
You know, I think it really heightened awareness that we live in a dangerous world, and that in a split second everything can change. And you know, teenagers are infamous for living life like they have the entirety of their life ahead of them, and we believe that, of course. But in any moment, your life can change. It happened, you know, for me when I saw what I saw and the assassination take place. Instantly, I just knew that there was going to be a real significant attention focus on young people. In his world, it was the college campuses. In our world, it's high school campuses. And there's certainly a lot of students are very much keenly aware of just the brevity of life.
Yeah.
And I believe in large part, this awareness is what's causing so many students to really respond even more than ever before. Last week, we were in North Carolina doing this and did an Evening of Hope, and just saw just significant numbers of students make decisions to follow God and to kind of get serious about their life, realizing that, you know, life is a vapor, and it can change in a heartbeat.
Are you sensing and seeing that young people really are hungry? I mean, they really are seeking something different, and they can handle the truth of the gospel?
Yes, it's encouraging to me. It's motivating to me, because what we're seeing is, you know, teenagers listen with their eyes. They're a visual generation, and they live on social media. And so what we have done in our ministry and in our outreach is in the last 25 months, we've had 169 million views of our videos on social. And we've invested a lot of resources into creating the content to invite teenagers on this journey with us. Because what we're discovering more and more every day is teenagers don't necessarily want to talk to a parent, to a teacher, to somebody like me necessarily, but they desperately need to be heard, and they desperately need to be seen. Because if they do not feel seen or heard, they go down this path where they wrongly believe that their life doesn't matter. And so what I'm encouraging, I speak at a lot of churches on the weekends, and I encourage parents to be available, to turn the telephone off, put your phones down, and engage in conversation. They go, I don't know how to talk to my kid. I go, well, start with questions. How was your day? What was your high today? What was your low today? And because students today, students who are literally all over America, there's a major, I see, hunger for truth. That they don't want religion. They're looking for relationship. That's why we had the response we had last night.
So authenticity is everything, obviously.
Well, that's a great way of saying it. Yes, sir.
Okay, so to the core of this, which is really kind of hard to process, is the suicide rate among young people and the increase. Can you tell us why?
Hopelessness. The word of God is very clear. Without a vision, people perish. So you could say, with a vision, you could change society. And so, show me a teenager who does not have his or her vision identified. You know, destiny's purposes are not ours to decide; they're ours to discover. And so, a lot of teenagers are. You know, I'll ask them in assemblies, "What do you know? Let's go forward 5 years. Where do you see yourself?" And the number one answer I get is, "I don't know. I just hadn't thought about it." So I'm there to help them think about it and encourage them that, you know, it's a very competitive world out there, and you've got to not only discover why you're here, but if you really want to see success come to that discovery, you also got to get into the Word of God and find yourself in Scripture and verse. For point of example, I'm called to Ezekiel 3:10 and 11 with a mandate of Proverbs 24:11 with a message of Job 33:4, all for the purpose of 2 Timothy 4:5. I know why I get to do these interviews. That's what I try to get students to understand. The more you get into the Word, the more the Word will get into you. And that's when your life will change. And so when students live on social media, they're constantly comparing, they're constantly counting their likes. And I share this with parents and I share it with students every day. If you're still counting your likes, you really have no idea how much you're loved, because those likes change. I never look at our likes. I look at our views. That's what I'm interested in. And I see a lot of adults who, you know, invest a lot of their time, or spend a lot of their time on social media trying to find some level of success in life, because how many people are following them or how many people are retweeting what they say, when in reality, in my view, it's all about how's our relationship with the Lord? What are we doing to make a difference in the lives of other people? And are we available to our kids?
Suicide is tough to deal with, and I know you've been touched by it. I have too. I guess my concern is, or my question is, young people, I don't know what they get to the point that, do they think that it's just a temporary thing? Do they understand it's permanent?
I have talked, you know, with a lot of students who've attempted, and I've listened, because in listening, you invite the teenager into a conversation that he or she can kind of dictate how it goes. And what I've heard from so many students is they got to a place of such hopelessness that they just did not believe there was any way out, and they felt like they would just be better off not being here, and that if they aren't here, no one would miss them. And many, I mean, hundreds of kids that I've talked with after they've attempted said to me, there was this dark, I would call ominous, evil presence in their mind. And it was just kind of shutting down their mind. And when you get into that place where you just believe wrongly that your life doesn't matter, the enemy comes in to do what? To steal, to kill, and to destroy. He's very crafty. He knows what he's doing. We, as a ministry, as an outreach, are constantly just sharing truth, that you're loved, that you were created on purpose and with purpose and for purpose. I had a young man just yesterday, Perry, who said to me, he said, you know, several weeks ago, maybe it was a couple months ago, he said that he had a gun in his hand, had his finger on the trigger, and he just couldn't finish it. And he looked at me and said, you told me today that my life matters. He said, now I understand why I didn't do it. A couple of days ago, I was in Alabama, and a young man walked up to me, and he handed me a pen, a writing pen. And I go, thanks. He goes, you don't understand. That's the pen that I used to write my suicide note. I can't go through with what I wrote. You told me that my life matters, and I just wanted you to have the pen. We have a bag full of stuff like that the students have very graciously given to us because they've heard the truth. And when we hear truth, truth does what truth does. It sets people free.
Your story with your mom is a tough one, and yet God's using it obviously now with you. But are you comfortable sharing that?
Oh, sure. I share it every day. Let me say this to all of the people who are watching. I believe what I'm getting ready to say with every fiber in my body. I believe that what we overcome in life oftentimes becomes our platform. You know, just to kind of give you the quick version of my life, I think all of our lives are comprised of what I call defining moments. They'd be great moments, could be really challenging moments. For me, a defining moment happened when I was 7 years old. That's when I became a Christian. At 15, another defining moment, I was sexually abused, and 60 seconds changed my life. At 17, I failed PE. I made the choice. I'm not dressing out. I'm not going to get hurt again like I was when I was 15, even though I played quarterback, taught tennis, and played golf. I made a vow at 15 years old, I will never tell anybody what happened to me. 21 years old, I had spent the last 6 years lying. I lied more than I told the truth. I didn't like me, so there's no way I thought anyone could like me. What does the Bible say? Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Well, if I don't love me, I can't love you. And so I created this image that I thought people would enjoy and like, and they did, but it was a lie. So finally at 21, I was through. I had whatever society says makes you successful, and I was miserable. Nothing fulfilled me, because I believe born into every person is a space wholly and completely reserved for God through his son, Jesus. So one day I'd been in church all my life, went to church every time the doors were open, but I did not know God. Even though I'd become a Christian at 7, I just kind of put that relationship on the shelf and said, hey, I'm going to go live life. At 21, I said a prayer. I said, God, if you're real, and by the way, I don't think you are, and I feel really stupid talking to the wind, but if you are real, and if you have a plan for my life, prove it. And I tell teenagers, don't ever ask God, the creator of the universe, to prove to you that he's real unless you're ready. And 2 weeks later, without any warning whatsoever, I was sitting in my office dialing a phone, and off behind me to my left, I heard someone say, call mom. And I dialed. As I looked around, I saw no one, but the hair on the back of my neck knew to call my mom. I dialed my parents' phone number. The phone rang 7 times. On the 8th ring, she said hello. And when she said hello, instantly I knew something was really wrong. Her voice was slurred. She was disoriented. She did not sound like herself at all. And I was about to learn God, who was so very real, when he spoke to me, and I heard him. And he said, call mom. And I did so. My mother was attempting suicide.
Whoa.
I could hear the life leaving her body. She was dying. I ran out of my office, drove up Interstate 75, drove into their neighborhood, got to my parents' home. I had prayed a prayer that would not have won any theological awards. I just said, help, I can't save my mom. My mom came down some stairs, opened her front door, fell into my arms. I picked her up, carried her to her car, drove her to a hospital. She said to me as we drove, Dean, I can't be dying. I said, Mom, you're not going to die, but you're going to have to choose to live. And Perry, I believe the most important word in that sentence is not live, but choose. The Bible's very clear. Choose you this day who you're going to serve. Get her to a hospital. The doctor threw me against the wall, rushed her to the ER. 45 minutes later, this emergency room doc who had 4 years of college, 4 years of med school, 2 years of residency, and years of practicing medicine walked over to my dad and I, and he said this, there's no medical reason to tell you what I'm getting ready to tell you. It's a, quote, miracle of God. Your wife is fine. You can go see her. I heard miracle of God. I froze, looked straight up and went, you've got to be kidding me. You're real? And I went on a walk by myself. And I could take you to the spot in Park Ridge Hospital in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where I leaned against this long hallway. And I had an encounter with Jesus. From the top of my head to the soles of my feet, I was being changed from the inside out.
Wow. Beautiful. I got a load of questions, so let me take a break. We'll come back. Let me say to reviewers and listeners, where can they get the book, Dean?
YouMatter.us is a quick way to do it. They can Amazon. It's right there. All I do is go in and do that quick little search on Amazon's search bar. YouMatter. It'll pop up.
Where's your television broadcast?
It's on Victory Network. Brother Kenneth Copeland has a TV network, and we're part of that network. So it goes all over the world 4 days a week.
Yeah, maybe I ought to get it on the Dove TV.
I'd love to do it. When we got off air, I was going to have that conversation with somebody.
I'm the guy.
Well, then, Perry, you and I should have a conversation because that broadcast is helping a lot of students.
Right. You give me a call back in a couple of hours. That'd be great. All right, let me take a quick break. YouMatter.us. We'll be right back.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Something big, something exciting, something dynamic is happening at the Dove TV. It's been months in the making, and you've made it all possible by your faithful giving. Change is in the air, a difference you'll see. Mornings will never be the same. What is it? Find out October 8th on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative. Get ready to experience evangelism like never before.
What did you have to do to come back like this?
Each time you come back, you get closer to God.
Ray, tell us about your past life as a Chihuahua.
Where the Master on the Dove TV delivers thought-provoking interviews between their dynamic co-host team and captivating witnessing encounters.
Have you ever read the Bible?
I read the first page.
You haven't got past this page.
Tackling hard questions with biblical wisdom and bold street witnessing that will leave you inspired and equipped to share your faith.
So, hey, why should I let you into my kingdom? And you say to him, because I was true to myself.
Each episode will leave you better equipped to carry the good news into the world in this unique, award-winning reality TV show that will leave you saying, I can do that.
My prayer life goes on steroids when I'm witnessing. It's like...
Learn how to share your faith with Way of the Master, Thursdays and Fridays on the Dove TV.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
Okay, welcome back, and delighted to have with us Dean Sykes. He's the author of You Matter, Finding Hope and Meaning in Everyday Life. There's a picture of the cover of the book. You can certainly get that online, but you can go to youmatter.us and you can get it there. His outreach to young people, and in particular high schools, he's done over 4,200 events and just active even last night, so this is pretty active. Dean, you're fascinating. So, I'm trying to figure out how to ask this question, but is somebody who is attempting suicide in their right mind?
It's a really intriguing question to talk about. I believe that the people who move towards ending their life have become so full of pain. And what does pain do? It seeks pleasure. What do hurting people do but hurt other people? And oftentimes they hurt themselves. You know, one of the things that I was thinking about recently was I did a big Christian convention in Texas, and there were thousands of students there. And when it was over, a young lady walked up to our table and she began to just kind of unpack her story. And she was 14 years old. And after talking and sharing her story with me, I just listened. And she said, can I show you my arm? And I said, yeah. She pulled her sleeve back and revealed that on her wrist, she'd been cutting herself, self-harm. And she said, you told me that my life matters. I said, yes, sweetheart, it does matter. She says, do you really believe that? I said, actually, I go beyond believing it. I know it. And I told her again why, out of Job 33:4. And she goes, I want to give you something. I said, okay. And she pulled out of her backpack her blood-stained razor blade. She said, I don't want to hurt myself anymore. And I said, Megan, her name was Megan. I said, Megan, why do you hurt yourself? And Perry, this is the answer she gave me to answer your question. She says, I hurt myself to stop the pain. And I've shared that story in South Africa, South Australia, Russia, England, all over America, hundreds and hundreds of times. And without fail, every single time a teenager says to me that they hurt themselves, and I ask them why, 100% of the time they give me the same answer. I hurt myself to stop the pain. So are they in their right mind? I don't think they are. I think they are really leaning into the pain. They're trying to escape the pain. They're being truly managed by the devil himself. One of the simple things I share with students is, God did not need your help getting into this thing called life, and he does not need your help getting out of it. When it's your time to go, he knows how to get you. He knows how to get you home. You're here on purpose. That's the message. You're here with a purpose. You're here for purpose. That's the fact that you're breathing. I mean, let's identify some things that make your life special. And so, I've learned in 4,300 times of doing this, if to the degree that we can, I stay as long as I can at every school and just sit and listen to students talk. Then somebody grabs me and says, we got to go to the next school, so I got to go. But it's just they want to, like I said earlier, they need to be heard and they got to be seen.
Bible says no one lives by himself or dies by himself. Mm-hmm. And suicide impacts everybody. I mean, you may think in your state of being that you're eliminating pain, but you're creating a whole nother wave of pain outside of you. And that now requires a whole nother level of care and counseling. How do you address that?
Yeah, and I talk about that. I share with students that, this is not just you. And, yesterday alone, in a small rural community in Illinois, we had, over the course of 2 assemblies, we had 59 teenagers say, I'm not going to end my life after hearing your message. So there were 59 kids sitting in assemblies yesterday that literally they were ready to end their lives. And so I share with students from stage that while this is you think a singular act that's just going to affect you, this is going to affect people for conceivably a generation. I mean, it's not just your family, it's the family, it's your friends, it's those people who are truly, whether you see it, feel it, or experience it, they do love you. You are loved. Right. And so, I talk about, because of what had happened to me at 15, the sexual abuse, I made that vow, I'll never tell anybody what happened. 22 years later, I'm walking in a Home Depot, and I walk down aisle 21, and I turn right, and I walk right into the person who had abused me. And Perry, my life unraveled. I mean, it unraveled. I was on television. I was major networks. I was bouncing all over the world speaking. I couldn't function. And I got into a Christian counselor's office, and I was asked this question: will you forgive the person who hurt you when you were 15? I said, no, not even maybe. Great Christian answer, right? He goes, why not? I goes, it's not fair. I did nothing wrong. And then the question was posed that, again, changed my life. Was the cross fair? And so I took 3 or 4 days, got my Bible out, prayed, talked with the Lord, listened. I didn't go to the person, but I went to God and I forgave. And I would love to tell you that angels were doing high fives in my office and my life changed immediately and everything was just dramatically different. None of that happened. I felt nothing different. In fact, I felt kind of ridiculous, but faith isn't about feelings, it's about action. About 3 months later, I woke up one morning and I was free. And I tell students, the person who sexually abused me could walk into this arena, could sit down in front of me, it would not faze me in the least. Now, the thing that I said I would never do, I'll never tell anybody, every day of the year, whether it's on social media, television, in one of my books, or one of our events, that story is being told. Again, what you overcome becomes your platform. Yeah. And so I try to, and I think it's real important to identify this. There are a lot of great students out there who are doing wonderful things, who are really chasing after their dreams, following God, pursuing with great passion what it is they believe they're called to do. We all just need somebody to listen to us, somebody to care about us, and someone to go, you know what, you can do this.
Isn't that a James 5 thing, Dean? I mean, what I mean by that is, any sick among you, call for the elder church. But the next line says, confess your faults one to the other so that you may be healed.
Healed.
So that counselor drew that out of you and you became healed.
And when I went home the night that I had that moment at Home Depot, I had 2 of my kids with me. And my wife, Lori, she looked at me when I got home. She said, what's wrong? I said, no, not right now. We put our kids to bed. We went outside on our front porch, and I said, 22 years ago, something happened to me. I've never had the guts to tell anybody. I said I was sexually abused, and today I ran into the person. Lori, my wife's eyes filled with tears. She took 2 steps backward. She says, honey, everything makes sense. We've got to get you help. My immediate response was, no, I'm fine. She goes, no, you're not fine. And I went, well, yeah, I am. She goes, Dean. And I realized it was pride. Pride was trying to stop me. She said, if you'd just been diagnosed with a sickness, would you go to a doctor? I said, yeah. She goes, no different. We're going to find you a counselor. And I was led to the right person. And that conversation lasted 11 years. And I carry in my iPad 11 years of notes.
That's beautiful.
Because he didn't care I was on television. He didn't care about my ministry. He cared about me. He just wanted me to get better.
Do you think the lack of value of human life in this culture is a contributing factor to teen suicide?
Absolutely. Yeah. Suicide is the fastest death on the planet today. It happens so fast. And when people do not value life and value the truth that when God created you, he did not go, oops, Jesus, come here. You will not believe what I just did. Oh, I missed this one. He created you and went, wow. And that's what I tell students. I hold my hand up. I go, if my hand is a mirror, do you see what God sees when you look in the mirror? And sadly, most of us don't. We see all the things we've done wrong, but what does God see? But God is love. It's not that he just gives us love, it's who he is. He created a family because he wanted someone to love. You and I would have no capacity to love or to receive love were we not created in his image. Mm-hmm. So when teenagers understand, I'm loved, I'm valued, my life has value, then they begin to really engage in the journey of discovering, well, what am I supposed to do with this thing called life?
Where does peer pressure come in?
Oh, it's peer pressure and bullying, I believe, are the top two. Mm. And bullying isn't what it used to be. You know, when the very first convention where I ever was the keynote speaker was in 1993. There were 600 students there, and I asked this question, how many of you have cell phones? 3 raised their hand. That means 597 did not. Today, in any place I go, 98+% of the students have their phone.
Okay.
And so bullying today does not look like it did in 1993 or 1963.
Cyberbullying.
You know, yeah, that's it. You got it.
Yeah.
In 63, the three biggest challenges in public schools were teenagers running in the hallway, being late to class, and chewing bubblegum in class. Right. When prayer was taken out of the schools, come forward all these years later, 50 years later, and what do you have? You have bullying, gang violence, and school shootings. If you take God out of a God-centered society, you're left with a godless society, which then introduces John 10:10.
Yeah. I know we just scratched the surface. Can I get you back?
Oh, I would so enjoy this. Yeah, please.
Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out the website first, youmatter.us. There's a picture of the landing page right there, youmatter.us, very resourceful. And then order the book, You Matter, Finding Hope and Meaning in Everyday Life, by Dean Sykes. Dean, you got so much more in you. This is such an amazing topic, especially in today's culture and world. We'll get you back. We need to do more on this, and I need to squeeze your heart a little more.
Well, I have so enjoyed our time. Thanks for the opportunity to share a little bit of what we get to do in life.
All right. My team's going to give you some numbers and emails, and we'll connect later, okay?
I look forward to it, Perry. Thanks again.
All right. God bless.
Black Flag Armory offers top brand affordable rifles, shotguns, handguns, and gear. We also offer an array of classes emphasizing safety, self-defense, and accuracy. We strive to provide the absolute best possible experience when buying a firearm. Family friendly for every skill level. Black Flag Armory in Medford and Grants Pass. Online at blackflagarms.com or 541-499-0779. 541-499-0779.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian owned and operated, pet friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
Worried that inflation might burst your retirement bubble? I'm Michelle Slate. Lighthouse Financial shines guiding light on retirement, investing, and insurance. Helping you navigate the stormy seas of retirement, Lighthouse stands tall as a beacon of hope, offering you wise counsel and biblically responsible investing. Lighthouse Financial. Call us today, 541-494-1034.
Here's a recipe for a great morning. Get plenty of rest. Spend quality time with God. Have a good breakfast. Then add a generous helping of Perry, Jerry, and Mornings on the Dove. They'll get you ready for the day with encouragement and information.
Good morning to you. Happy Monday. Here we are.
Mixing in the latest news, weather to plan your day, an inspiring reminder from God's Word, baked with timely insights and discussions on today's headlines.
Do you realize how many headlines are out there this morning?
Oh, man. And of course, lots of laughs, fun, and encouragement they're famous for.
That is no joke, Barry. That's not a joke. That's real. I've seen pictures of that.
To bring you a smile before you start the day. Make Mornings on the Dove part of your morning recipe.
Anyway, good morning to you.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 a.m. only on the Dove TV and radio. Encouraging and informative. More at theDove.us. Get ready to experience evangelism like never before.
What did you have to do to come back like this?
Each time you come back, you get closer to God.
Ray, tell us about your past life as a Chihuahua.
Ray the Master on the Dove TV delivers thought-provoking interviews between their dynamic co-host team and captivating witnessing encounters.
Have you ever read the Bible?
I read the first page.
You haven't got past this page.
Tackling hard questions with biblical wisdom and bold street witnessing that will leave you inspired and equipped to share your faith.
So, hey, why should I let you into my kingdom? And you say to him, because I was true to myself.
Each episode will leave you better equipped to carry the good news into the world in this unique, award-winning reality TV show that will leave you saying, I can do that.
My prayer life goes on steroids when I'm witnessing. It's like,
learn how to share your faith with Way of the Master, Thursdays and Fridays on the Dove TV. Tackling the tough issues facing America and our nation's freedom. That's Sekalo on the Dove TV.
DAs around the country finding who they want to prosecute and then determining what crime they could charge them with.
You can't believe this is the country we're living in, that this is happening.
A bold half hour hosted by ACLJ's Jordan and Logan Sekalo, taking you inside the battle of constitutional and political freedom, discussing issues that matter to you and your family.
This is just...
Welcome back. Big question. I don't know. Quite often we will go live to the White House, and they're in the press corps room. What's it like to be a part of the White House press corps? Well, so honored to have with us today Corinne Clifford is an independent journalist based in Washington, D.C., a member of the White House press corps. She's a spokesperson for sat123.com, a leading provider of emergency communication tools, and the founder of the Informed News Network, delivering uncensored news to millions. She is currently writing a book about journalism in the digital age. Whoa. That's got to be very interesting. Website, sat123.com. There it is, sat123.com. So, Corinne, good to see you. How are you today?
I am so good to see you, Perry. How are you?
Fine. Thanks for your time. This is an honor to have you. So what's it like to be in that room?
Well, yesterday was really interesting because we had our Vice President, J.D. Vance, come in and really educate us about the government shutdown that is currently happening.
Wow. What was your take?
The take is that, of course, it's the Democrats that are causing the government shutdown because they want to fund illegal criminal migrants. And the bottom line is that we really have to take care of our American people first. When you go into a hospital, when you go in to need services as an American, many times you get pushed aside for these services that the federal government and even the state governments are supposed to be providing to Americans. You get pushed aside so that illegal migrants can get those services. And that really needs to end. And that's one of the reasons why we have a massive homeless problem. And that's really the main reason why we currently have a federal government shutdown. And Vice President J.D. Vance was really explaining this to us in a very calm, collected manner. And of course, the mainstream media just can't handle that answer.
Do you think we're going to be in this shutdown for a little while?
J.D. Vance said it will only be about a week, but I predict it could be longer. And I'm very interested in knowing what the real repercussions will be, because just to get to the White House every day, it requires so much security. Secret Service, Park Police, DC Police, every type of police you can imagine. And I think that it's going to be very interesting to see how long these police forces will stay protecting us when they're not sure when they'll get paid.
Is it true that this shutdown does provide the president a unique opportunity to do things that he otherwise couldn't get done if the government was functioning? So I don't know if this is under some kind of emergency powers, but one of the big things that we're hearing coming out of the White House is the layoffs. He's saying to a lot of the agency leaders, make them permanent. Is that true?
That is actually true. The bottom line is that President Trump's DOGE team was really trying to cut government waste and make sure that people that we don't need. How many federal employees do we have? We have approximately 3 million. Now, this does not include the U.S. military. We need the U.S. military. That's completely separated. But out of these millions and millions of government employees, we don't need many of them. And so President Trump is turning this into an opportunity. Just today, he's posting on his Truth Social account, which is how we get most of the news, unless he comes to talk to us direct in the press room. He's posting that, he's going to use this and turn this a negative into a positive and use this as an opportunity to really start firing the people that we don't need in the federal government. If you've hung out with many of these federal government employees, as I have, I've lived in Washington, D.C. for the last 5 years. I'm from California originally, but when you listen to these people, they just care about their job and they want to keep their job for 25, 30 years. And that's great. But right now we have a $37 trillion debt, and we can't afford to continue to support many of these federal government employees. So President Trump is going to do exactly what you're saying, turning a negative into a positive. And he's going to potentially use this as a way to start cutting the government waste as much as possible.
On a side note, Corinne, are you surprised how I'll use the word accessible, but at least available the president is for the media to ask questions?
I am so grateful to President Trump. I really could not believe that he's so accessible. I've actually been able to ask him questions. I can ask his staff to ask him questions. We have 100% accessibility, and it is the most incredible experience of First Amendment free press. And even the press secretary, if she doesn't want to answer a question for him, she'll say, ask the president yourself. So we have accessibility that's phenomenal.
I've been in situations, been in media a little bit, and you've been in there too, but when you go into these rooms and you watch the various networks standing up, saying things before their press secretary comes in or the president comes in, but the varying opinions of the same thing is remarkable. I mean, one of the things I do in the mornings, I come in and I look at a variety of headlines and a variety of stories, but the take is how one story can get written 50 ways. I'm sure you see it. But at the same time, we see a pushback on legacy media. Where do you think it's going?
I think the legacy media is dead. And I'm really shocked when I talk to people who even watch legacy TV channels. The journalists that I meet, and I'm not going to name their names because I don't want to be disrespectful, but the journalists that I meet that are in legacy media really don't care about us. And it's a really big problem. And they're doing what their bosses tell them to do, but they are just doing the basics. They're not really delving all the way that we need to go because America's in a crisis. We are so divided right now, and we really have to work together to solve this crisis. What I witnessed yesterday in Washington, D.C. is just chilling to me. And the Antifa level that's happening around the United States, if you look at Portland, if you look at the different cities, the people protesting ICE deportations, we cannot afford to fund migrant illegals in the United States anymore. And this is why I'm concerned that an emergency can happen at any time. And I actually walk around with my satellite phone from Sat 123. Like I actually take this and throw this in my purse, in my backpack, anywhere I go. I make sure that I have the satellite phone, that I have the basics that I would need for an emergency. And I'm in Senate, I'm in the White House, I'm everywhere that's allegedly supposed to be safe, but I do make sure that if something happens, I can get out of the emergency with SAT 123. So I really care about having people to go to this website and check it out and all of the products and buy what they need now before it's too late.
All right, go to SAT123.com. That's the website, and check it out. I know a lot of people, quite frankly, Corinne, that's doing exactly what you're doing right there. So SAT123.com.
Everyone in Senate has a satellite phone. You have to have one now. Even if you just want to do basic communication, you have to be able to communicate if you get stuck in an emergency. I was in front of Union Station last night in Washington, D.C., and I got physically attacked by a member of Antifa.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes. I was with some really incredible Christian journalists, Cam Higbee and a couple of others that are just amazing. And they're taking over where Charlie Kirk had to leave off because he was assassinated. And we actually got attacked. I got attacked by Antifa last night. And, the police do what they can, but they really didn't do very much. They eventually arrested the woman who was attacking us, but it took hours and it was very chilling. So it's a big city. I had my satellite phone. I was ready in case I needed to call anyone for help. And I had a bulletproof backpack. And so you need to have these things. And I'm sorry to say it, but we do live in a crazy world right now, and you have to be prepared for any emergency.
How impacting, from your point of view, was the Charlie Kirk assassination?
The Charlie Kirk assassination was 100% devastating to me and so many of my friends and colleagues on a very deep level. But to mainstream media, they used the whole opportunity to get views. Charlie Kirk wasn't really allowed on mainstream media. So that was really chilling to me too, and shocking, because the mainstream legacy media never really allowed Charlie Kirk to do interviews with them. And so I'm just in shock that Charlie Kirk meant so much to all of us. He was one of the greatest men I've ever met. I've done his show. I've dealt with him many times personally. I gave him stories that I couldn't handle exposing because the backlash would be so serious. If I do a really serious story like I did yesterday, the death threats, the backlash is out of control. And so I'd give them to people like Charlie Kirk. And now I'm giving my news stories to a young man named Cam Higbee. So I do very serious news. And when it gets too dangerous, I give it to other journalists who have bodyguards, who have security, and can handle the backlash.
I don't know how to ask this question, so I'll just blurt it out.
Of course.
How corrupt is our government?
So that's a really good question, because I grew up in a very privileged background in Beverly Hills, California, and I always thought that the corruption was fake. But in 2013, my family got taken over by a former congressman. And since I've been witnessing what really is happening since 2013, it's basically who you know. It's basically how much money you have, the power you have. I'm a Christian woman, Perry, and so it's shocking to me. The government is very, very corrupt. Percentage-wise, I'd say, maybe 1 out of 10 elected officials, selected officials are good on the side of goodness and righteousness. We have a serious problem with corruption. How is it that Ilhan Omar, the congresswoman that we all know about, she came into Congress, 6 years ago, in debt, and now she's worth $30 million? We have a really serious corruption problem in Washington, D.C.
All right, I got some more questions. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out Corinne's website, sat123.com, and there's a variety of those items that she talked about. Listen, we're living in this world. Be smart. Take a look at it. sat123.com. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Every Every day in Southern Oregon, lives are shaken by poverty, violence, and hardship. Last year alone, the Salvation Army reached more than 11,000 people in Jackson County with food, shelter, and critical support. Behind every meal served, every family housed, and every life restored, there's a volunteer making it happen. Please join us. There are many ways you can volunteer and make a difference in someone's life today. The Salvation Army doing the most good together. This message made possible by the Oregon Health Authority Hospital-Based Intervention Grant.
Something big, something exciting, something dynamic is happening at the Dove TV. It's been months in the making, and you've made it all possible by your faithful giving. Change is in the air, a difference you'll see. Mornings will never be the same. What is it? Find out October 8th on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
If you are tired, that means I get fed up. I am tired of living the way I'm living. If you're tired from carrying heavy loads, if you're not tired of trying to solve all the problems by yourself, Jesus can't help you. So let me ask you, are you tired? Are you tired of running on empty? Are you fed up with the emptiness that you've been feeling in your life? And are you willing to do something about it? As I said, we don't change until we feel the heat. You have to come some point in your life where you go, I have had enough. I refuse to live this way any longer.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Okay, welcome back. Wow, what an honor to have with us today Corinne Clifford. She's an independent journalist based in Washington, D.C., and a member of the White House Press Corps. And she's currently writing a book about journalism in today's digital world, which is an amazing thing. Her website, because she's a spokesperson for SAT 123, which is stat123.com, and there's a picture of the landing page. You may want to consider yourself a satellite phone. Be ready. Be vigilant. Okay, Corinne, I was trying to figure out how I was going to ask this question during the break. As you know, during the Charlie Kirk memorial, 100,000 people were let in, 20,000 went to a building next door, 80,000 got turned away, 100 million people watched it online. We watched the Director of Intelligence, the Vice President of the United States, and the Secretary of State all get up and preach the gospel. Wow. What did you think?
I loved it. And actually, I should have gone to that, but there were so many people, and we had already had 3 vigils for Charlie Kirk in Washington, D.C., because so many of us were devastated, and it was right around 9/11. So all of the news got drowned out for Charlie Kirk, because we could not believe that. He's 31 years old. We all loved him. I've never met anyone on our side who didn't love Charlie Kirk. And watching the actual funeral was just really a powerful experience, because we do need a Christian revival in the United States of America at this time in history.
Somebody said one of the results of that memorial was the silent morality is now standing up. Wrong is wrong, right is right. Men can't become women. Men shouldn't go be in girls' locker rooms and girls' sports. Do you sense that?
100%. And this is something that Charlie Kirk helped me with a lot. I covered a lot of the January 6th political prisoners, and I had women who were January 6th political prisoners and pro-life activists calling me from the jails and prisons before President Trump pardoned them all. And they were telling me that there were men who identified as women allowed into their prison cell, and they were getting abused. And I took that and I gave it to Charlie Kirk, and I went to him direct. And I said, Charlie, I need your help on this because I don't know how to handle this news story. And Charlie took it and made it explode into a huge news story. That's a very traumatic thing that I just explained to you. So it's not just athletes. It's in jails and prisons that the powers that be are allowing men who identify as women to really abuse our women, to really abuse people. It's really a bad situation. It needs to end. But I think that we are in a fishbowl where, we're Christian. But when we walk outside, you go to the grocery store, I go to the White House, I go to Senate. A lot of those people in Senate, most of the people in Congress are not real Christians. When I go in an Uber, think about the things that you would do all day long. When you travel on an airplane, I am not being surrounded by many real Christians. So it was incredible to have that experience with so many Charlie Kirk supporters. But just today, I'm going to Georgetown University. How many real Christians are at Georgetown University? We need a very serious revival. I don't know how easy that is going to be, but we need it to happen sooner than later because there is pure evil out there. And I faced it in the eyes yesterday at a very active Antifa encampment that has been in front of Union Station in Washington, D.C. since May 1st. And they've been threatening me and telling me they're not leaving until President Trump is actually impeached. They have a permit. And it's shocking that they're allowed to harass tourists. They're allowed to harass journalists. They're harassing people on loudspeakers since May 1st in Washington, D.C., right at Union Station. So I face evil in the eye every single day, and we need a very serious Christian revival. And that's why I always make sure I have a bulletproof backpack. That's why I make sure I have a Faraday bag to cover my cell phones, my wallet, my credit cards. That's why I always use every product from SAT 1, 2, 3, because I don't know when I'm going to get attacked. And at this point, I'm going to Georgetown University. I'm bringing my bulletproof backpack, my satellite phone, my Faraday bags. I'm not really sure what could happen, but I want to be prepared in case shots are fired. We need a very serious Christian revival. And I think I don't know how we're going to make that happen. Do you, Perry?
I really don't. I mean, that is the answer. And part of this struggle that we have to deal with, we have to come to the reality that this is spiritual. We're not dealing with people that are having a bad day. We're not dealing with people that have been misdiagnosed with mental health. We're dealing with just raw evil. And I don't know if we're prepared for that.
Yes. And just yesterday, a woman at Union Station who's part of this Antifa group that is very well funded, it costs them $1,000+ a day to be in 4 or 5 tents that they have in front of Union Station in Washington, D.C. They have a medic tent. Who's paying for this? She looked at me and she said, do people with blue eyes have souls? And that was pure demon. And I had Christian men around me, and I was very well prayed for, and I was prayed up. And, we have pastors at the White House like Pastor Paula White, people helping us. I have pastors I can call, but that was really chilling to have a woman ask me if people with blue eyes have souls.
Yes.
Got arrested eventually, but it took like an hour.
Wow.
He was jumping on us and physically attacking us. It was demonic.
Oh.
It was a demonic possession, and Antifa is funding that. And you're watching that in Portland right now. I've been all across America covering Antifa since 2019. It's getting worse and worse. And thank God President Trump has said that Antifa is officially a terrorist group, but we need to figure out who's funding them. So I hope Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are listening to the tweets that I make and the information that we're giving, because I'm identifying who they are. And it's very serious. And then there's evil. Just when you walk down the street, you just get attacked.
Yeah.
And the more I get grounded in my Christianity, I get attacked, but the attack doesn't hurt me. But I'm concerned because our children need revival. We need revival everywhere.
Yeah. Quickly, before I run out of time, going to your book, where do you think journalism in America is going?
So my family has a school of journalism at USC. And so I was trained properly to be a journalist, and it really did not help me in any way, because to do the camera equipment, you need a producer, you need a camera person, you understand all this. And then to do the actual journalism, who knows what the limits are? I just got banned, Perry, on Instagram 2 days ago for posting footage of myself with President Trump. The censorship is real and serious. And while Mark Zuckerberg and these other people say they're not censoring us, they are. And so I'm very concerned because journalism school doesn't prepare you for anything. My book is going to be so innovative because I want to teach people, what do you do when you get banned and censored? I'm banned on YouTube. I'm banned on Instagram. Why is this happening to me? I'm a Christian woman. I'm a mother. How is this even possible? I'm a member of the White House Press Corps. I'm in Senate. I'm in federal court. I cover some of the most serious journalism in the whole United States of America at this time in history, and I should not be censored. So I'm very, very hopeful that my book will make an impact, but let's see what happens. It's all about the court system and the judges now. We have to see, when I sue Meta, when I sue Instagram, can I even win? Can I even get anywhere with that?
The bias in the news today is so obvious, and especially when you flip from one network to the other. People are saying, well, who can I trust and why bother? They don't even watch it. Those ratings continue to fall through the floor. So how do you think people are going to ultimately get the truth?
I think through their church. But also, too, I think we need more street preachers, and we need, people like yourself and others to really take the time to educate the people around you, like walk down the street, go to the grocery store, talk to the people around you, because I think that we're in a bubble. We're not getting everyone we should be getting. And so I think we need to actually get out there, and really talk to people. And we just don't have that opportunity very often because we're all so busy and under so much pressure. But it's really the next generation. We have to educate the children. We have a lot of work to do, and we have to pray every single day.
Corinne, you're fascinating. Can we get you back sometime? I know you have a busy schedule, but you're fascinating. I think you have more to share. So let me say to our viewers or listeners, check out her website, satsat123.com, and there's where you can check out the products that she's been talking about. But more than that, this is just common sense stuff. And if you're in a busy world, you need this kind of extra protection and communication. satsat123.com. Corinne, thank you. Look forward to your book. When do you think you'll have it out?
It's going to take me about a year because I still have to figure out what to do when you get banned and censored. Thank you so much, Carrie. You are a joy and a pleasure. I'm grateful.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we got kicked off of YouTube. They took 15,000 of our videos, and 4 years later, we got them back. Hang in there.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that sometime. Good to see you. Thanks for your time. God bless you.
Have a beautiful day.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Stewardship begins